Video cast. This is the stream. We're back. This is A4NB4Y, the Zelda themed podcast. It's currently deep diving into Tears of the Kingdom. Last time we were infiltrating the Yiga for some shenanigans, and this time we're watching the movies. It's movie night. Yay. I'm Cameron Hagee. I'm prepared. I got my beanie. Can't really see that it's red, but it's red. These are my co-hosts as usual.
I'm Ryan Fonzie. This is my beanie. And I'm here rocking the video cast.
I'm Anthony. This is my beanie. And I'm also out here rocking that cast.
Beanie life.
Beanie life when nobody was ready to be on video.
One of us has a hair hiding under it. I'll leave it up to you to figure out which one does. Might be a difficult guess.
So this is our movie night. Welcome to movie night. You might even hear the game playing in the background as this goes. But we are going to go through all of the memories from start to finish. Perhaps not in one night, but we'll see how it goes. And as is the case with these video nights, we'll try to put some footage in the background or whatever, but this is about the cutscene. So we're going to play each one. We might have some random outbursts during the cutscenes, but usually we're going to keep the actual discussion for after the cutscene plays. So there will be commentary and all that. It's just we're kind of going to let the game take its turn, go that way. We'll roll off with this. And I'll explain a little bit, I guess, because some of these cutscenes that we're going to watch are actually not memories, and some of them are. So I'll try to explain what's what. But the first one, Memory 01, is actually a memory, and it's a memory that takes place before the game even starts. You find it when you meet the Deku Tree. So it's called the Master Sword's Power, and we will get right to it. Ooh, I forgot to actually record the video. Crud McMuffin. Well, we have the audio. I'm just going to start the video from there. So when people go to watch this, it'll just be gameplay footage for the first few minutes. Don't worry about it, guys. All right, so we're going to run this first video. And I'll figure out
my energy.
what we're going to put instead of what just happened, because that was an epic fail. Sorry, that's on me. All right, you guys ready for this first cutscene? Great.
Oh, yeah.
Roll that footage.
It is good to see you, Princess Zelda of Hyrule, and Link, Keeper of the Master Sword. Your blade has been fully restored. Go on then, Link. Draw it once more.
Great Deku Tree! Thank you so much.
There is no need for thanks. I merely watched over its renewal.
It is amazing that a sword can heal itself, no matter how badly damaged it becomes.
It can do more than heal. The sword will continue to gain strength if bathed in sacred power. The stronger that power, the more powerful the sword becomes. The potential of this fabled blade may well be limitless. Truly the work of a goddess.
A sword that grows ever stronger. The Master Sword.
Lock.
Okay, so let me jump on back to my webcam here. Oh no, I'm fuzzy.
No.
Buzzball.
We can fix this. There we go.
Hey.
All right, I'm back. So these are our hoodies for those of us who didn't have video the first time we made that reference. Okay, but yeah, the Master Sword. We just got a bunch of lore about the sword itself. Apparently, it heals itself over time. And that was a really long cutscene to just kind of say that. If I'm being honest.
It was half saying that and half also just hyping up the Master Sword with stuff we already knew. Like, it just gets stronger fighting the darkness. It's it's so strong. Hit by the goddess. Oh my gosh, the Master Sword. It's like, yeah.
It's like, thanks, Deku Tree. I did nothing. This sword's just the best.
Yeah, pretty much.
Did you guys catch that that epic grip that Link did in the middle of that, where it just like went ka-ching for no reason just because he gripped it tighter?
Yeah, and
That's part of like the
tilted a
hype.
little bit.
He like reloaded the sword.
He prepared it.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So that bit of lore is, I mean, it is important for the story, but it's so silly the way that cutscene plays out on its own and out of context. But that's okay. That's just background to the story. This next cutscene, we might have a little more to talk about because this is actually the beginning of the game. Like we talked about this already in our first episode of the season. It's Memory to the Awakening. If that doesn't give you a hint as what we're about to see, well then just buckle up because it's gonna get real. As I swap on over to my other camera real quick.
Wait.
It's gonna be alive.
Okay, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, rolling the footage.
What is that?
Ah, so close.
No, my progress.
In the cutscene.
Link!
Was that the sword that seals the darkness? The blade that shatters so easily against my power cannot save you from me. Zelda. You who carries that fragile sword. A Link. Rauru placed his faith in you. And that was all you could do.
Oh, do you know our names?
Ganon left.
Yeah. He's also really rude. He didn't even answer the question.
It's that cutscene.
To the skies.
Look at all them rideable platforms coming down.
Look at all them
Yeah, there
Sheikah
is.
confused
I can't wait
out of
to
their
ride them.
minds. All right. I'm back.
He back fuzzy though.
Always back fuzzy. We have a fix. There we go.
Hey, focus.
Hey, focused. All right, so that was like the intro cutscene of the game, basically.
And it's creepy.
I think it's hilarious that we watched the Master Sword hype scene immediately followed by Ganondorf being like, "Your sword is trash."
Yeah.
I mean
because
that.
it didn't bathe long enough, man.
I mean that's had to have been how it felt for Zelda and Link. I mean, I imagine those cutscenes weren't that far apart, right? Like in their actual life. Probably like, oh, don't worry, as long as we're down in these caves, we got the Master Sword. We know how good that is. And then this happens, and they're like, wait a minute.
Link's whole life just
It
went
just
down the
broke
drain.
apart.
Right?
His heart, everything. He was like, oh no.
So,
But now we're gonna strengthen it for a really long time, so it'll be okay.
what spoilers, bro? What are you talking about?
I mean, he did say if you bathe it long enough, it will get stronger. So
Yeah, he did say that. It
you just got to get in that hot tub bath, you know.
just go.
It's
Let's
common
hope.
knowledge. Everybody gets stronger in a hot tub.
Okay. So yeah, this. I mean, like I said, we've already talked about this one kind of in depth in our early episodes because a lot happens here, and it's the most ridiculous intro to a Zelda game I think I remember seeing.
Pretty much.
Very cool, very cool. But the real question is, where did Zelda go? Which we are actually about to answer with this next cutscene, if you guys don't mind. This is where we're gonna get into like the real meat of the memories that we haven't talked about yet on the podcast anywhere else. So
Real meat of the memories.
the real meat of the memories. It's your gray matter, man. It's up in here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So let me swap on back over. Ah! Okay. Y'all ready? We're gonna roll that "Where Am I" footage. I believe this one's pretty short.
What's going on?
Dragon tears. Is it just a poetic name, or are they actually dragon tears? We don't know.
Just on.
Secret stone.
What?
You're dear.
Oh, dear.
Another one. lot of noises, guys.
Zelda?
Where am I?
We didn't mean to startle you. I'm sorry. It's okay. My name is Sonia.
And could we ask what your name is?
I am the daughter of King Rome of Hyrule, Zelda.
What an unexpected answer. We are the king and queen who founded Hyrule, after all. Or at least we were the last time I checked.
You two founded Hyrule? And you're the king?
My name is Rauru. King Rauru of Hyrule.
King Rauru? And Queen Sonia? But that must mean...
Guys, what does it mean? It means I'm fuzzy.
But what? You went back to the past.
But what does it mean?
Back to the past.
You gotta go back to the past to get back to the future.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
That kind of happens.
What are you saying? Like,
You just
what do
gotta get
even saying?
dragonified in the past and you'll be fine. They live a long time.
Spoilers.
Bro. What is the point of the movie night if you're just gonna say everything that happens in the first 3 cutscenes, though?
Well, it's stuff we've already talked about in the podcast, so.
We have not talked about your codification.
Of what?
Okay, guy. We're gonna have to do some editing. I might even do bleeps over all of those things that we just said.
We didn't talk about that part yet.
Yeah, we didn't. Not at all.
You guys did a Master Sword part, though, didn't you?
Yeah, but we didn't talk about that.
Oh.
We didn't do a full-on Master Sword part.
No,
We just talked about going to the Great Deku Tree.
Oh, see, I wasn't there for that episode, so I thought you guys did all that.
Oh, well, that would explain why you were so, like, casual about it.
Yeah, that was like when my cat died, so.
Oof.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a quick cutscene just to give the hint that Zelda is in fact all the way to the founding of Hyrule at times. She doesn't outright say it, but I mean she might as well have. That was for us. I think that's the first memory we get back when input tells us about the geoglyphs and everything. Otherwise, it's just a great introduction to Rauru and Sonia, who both appear to have secret stones on them. So,
They
what
do
could,
secret stones.
what could it all mean? All right. So this next one is it's called An Unfamiliar World, and we get to see a little bit more about what they decide to do now that they meet. What's up?
I was gonna say, speaking of secret stones, I actually I have a conclusion to my secret stone journey that I've been doing this whole podcast. So I have some stuff at the end, or maybe if there's like a specific secret stone video at some point here, I can pump it out and give that knowledge.
You can do a special bonus episode about secret stones.
No, not a whole episode, just like bonus content. I'm concluding everything I've done.
All right.
All the research.
Sounds good. Maybe we could talk about that in our finale episode.
I
All right, cool. All right, so this unfamiliar world. Let me pop on over to the thing.
green screen.
Guys, ready?
Yep.
I don't see it.
You want me to pause it?
Nope, never mind. I got it.
Cool.
As I thought. This is not the world I know. A time so far back in the past, it's become legend.
Whoa.
So it's true. This is really the era of Hyrule's founding?
Your presence here is just as strange to us, Zelda. But if you, like Sonia, have a secret stone, and are able to manipulate time, then your story makes sense.
Oh, I believed her right away. You needed the secret stone as proof, Rauru? I can feel your light power within her, as well as my time power. Additionally, I sense that we share a blood connection.
How though? But
Yeah, right.
how though?
I see. In any case, Zelda, you had said that you needed to return to your era as soon as you possibly could.
Yes. In my time, something terrible is happening. I need to get back there. But how do I do that? I don't even know how I got here in the first place.
What was that? Like rubbing his hip in the background.
You don't need to solve your problems all at once. Why not come back with us to the castle,
No,
We'll tell everyone that you're a distant relative of ours. It is true, after all. We'll get you fresh clothes, too. I'm sure an answer will come to you. Wisdom takes time.
I don't know what to say.
I wonder. Minoru, she may have some idea of how to get you back to your era.
Minoru, you said?
Yes. She knows far more than anyone about our people. And like us, my older sister has a secret stone. We'll call on her.
So many stones.
Secret stone.
Like at this time, they're not even
Oh,
secret.
I'm not blurry. I'm not blurry this time, guys. I made it back. Look at that. Yeah. So this is basically just immediately after that first past cutscene, where they decide what to do. The whole blood relative thing is kind of out of left field. But I think Nintendo loves to do that. They love to just be like, they're related. And it's like, Nintendo, you can't just say that.
I think
But it's
maybe
just
you
so far
can-
down the line. She's got like 2% left, you know.
You could also maybe argue if you don't want to believe it's like blood relative, even though she said it, you could be like, well, maybe Sonia was like a reincarnation of Zelda in her time, kind of thing.
like a Hylia
Yeah,
vessel.
yeah. I mean,
Shared spirit.
makes it make more sense than 10,000 years in the future of a blood relative. And the fact that she's like,
That line's going strong.
I'm
I
psychic.
can sense it.
I know.
I believed her right away.
I knew.
Blood.
Somebody falls out of the sky. I know. Like I get it. It's like, yeah,
And
she belongs here.
I think that little punch that she did at that point was kind of just like saying she needs our help without
Yeah.
actually saying it out loud.
yeah, it's like
Like,
she's
get her
trying
there, do
to
something about it.
urge him to take care of it, and he was like, "What do you want me to do?" And she just takes over and goes and does it. It's like, all right. I mean, I guess. Yeah.
But he helps.
I mean, it shows the dynamic. I mean, it goes back to that that one inscription that we found, you know, for the Zonai survey team. That was like, you know, he loves to go out and go hunting and be carefree, and she's like, no, you gotta be the king. You know, quit messing around, that kind of thing. Like she's prepared to challenge him where it's needed. So I don't know, good stuff. When Sonia was like, "Oh, we can get you some new clothes to wear so that you know you don't stick out so much," my first thought went back to that whole other inscription about how she like brought mushroom fashion to this era. And part of me was like, I wonder if she was already like, "Can we have mushrooms on the clothes though? They're like a big deal background."
No.
Too early, right? She's got to get more ingrained in the culture before she has fashion influence.
Oh, it's such bad fashion. Wearing mushrooms.
I've been calling Mineru this whole time. Like, she pronounces it way more like mineral, just like the minor part just happens immediately. And I feel like I put a lot of emphasis on that E that I'm not supposed to do now that I've heard the voice acting for it. That's just me, though. I might still call her Mineru. Random stuff from this one. You guys want to hear what Mineru's council was, though? Because that's where they're going next.
I gotta hear it.
Gotta hear it. All right, cool.
Going right to her. She's got the answers and a secret stone.
She do. All right, hold on. This transition's never gonna be smooth. Sorry to tell you guys. Are you good to go?
Let's go.
Is that bad?
It is quite an interesting device. This is definitely not from this era. That said, I believe there may be a way to get the travel functionality working here. I'd like to tinker with it a bit. Would it be okay if I borrow it?
Yes, whatever you need. I really appreciate your help.
Then I'll hold on to it.
That steward, though.
So you really believe my story? That I came from the future?
I never doubted you for a moment.
Minoru, do you know of a way we could help to return Zelda back to her time?
I suspect it was the power of your secret stone that allowed you to travel through time. To put it simply, secret stones amplify the power their owners possess. I am able to separate my spirit from my body. Rauru can repel or destroy evil with his power of light.
Repel or destroy.
And Sonia, she can control time. As for you, I can sense both light and time powers. But your secret stone seems to amplify your time power.
Time power.
Ultimately, the secret stone only amplifies your power. It doesn't suddenly grant you mastery and control. That's still up to you. That means, if you don't already know how to get yourself home... There are stories about the secret stones and a forbidden act called draconification. To swallow a secret stone is to become an immortal dragon, one blessed with eternal life.
Interesting. Another way to reach the future, though not a very quick one. So you think these stories could hint at a solution to our dilemma?
Yes. But there is still more to those tales. To become an immortal dragon is to lose oneself. That is why it is forbidden. I thought maybe this could lead to a solution, some way to transcend time. But if you have to sacrifice your heart and mind, sacrifice what makes you you. I'm sorry. I wish I could help more.
Back where we started.
Oh, yeah?
There's still hope. I think the answer to this problem lies in study and learning more about the nature of your power. I'm sure Sonia would be happy to help you.
Oh my gosh, he said the magic words.
Okay.
So, like, before we get into it, Minoru's drip is just on another level. Did you get? I didn't notice this before when I watched the cutscene before, but she has a little tiny like zonai, like paper clips, like little tiny zonai pieces, and they're sitting on her like cowl, and they're floating and making the cowl also have like an ethereal appearance. I didn't realize the first time, like, how is her cowl moving? Is it like a fan? Now she's got little Zonai like gadgets that are just like holding her cowl.
Mini float stones just doing their job.
Right. I was like, oh man. She knows what she's doing, man.
I didn't even notice that. Y'all see the look on Zelda's face when Rauru said, "I think the answer's in studying."
Yeah, that was the candy shop.
You mean I don't gotta like go to a spring and pray? Like I can just study.
She's thinking, Rauru, you are my father.
Yeah, this whole cutscene was just straight up Chekhov's gun, though. I mean, if you didn't catch the foreshadowing in this, I don't think you were paying attention. Because the second I saw this cut, because I went through the memories in order according to like the the Forgotten Temple or whatever. And so this one comes up pretty early. It's memory 5, but it's really only the third one you would find from the geoglyphs. And already they've introduced this wild concept that if it wasn't in the game, there'd be no reason for them to go in this depth about it. So, draconification.
Yeah, what's that about?
Someone gonna draconify themselves, apparently.
Someone gonna be a dragon. I don't know.
Might dragonify. Might be Mineru.
Thought it was like a tongue-in-cheek joke when Rauru was like, so I guess we're back to the beginning. I was like, Zelda about to find her way back to the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no.
Nonsense. Everything about this was a red flag. I had alarm bells going off, but yeah. If we go to the next one, we get to learn about some conflict that's going on in this time period. I don't know if you guys are ready to switch gears a bit now that we've learned about this whole bombshell that just got dropped on us. Now they're going to try to change the subject.
Well, I'm
alright.
I guess
They're swapping it out.
Swapping it out, yeah. Hold on, let me get this up for you guys. All right, let me know when you're good.
Gyarados assault.
Yep. Ready, Cam?
Good. Yeah.
We're making pretty good time on these. This is number 6 of like 16, I think. It's a lot.
He's a happy camper.
So happy. You can tell by his expression.
Yeah.
Now watch this scene though, because I think this is where Twin Rova shows up.
Hyrule will bow down before me.
Did I say that right?
The Dugas.
Molduga are approaching our position!
It's more than we thought!
It's interesting to me that the name Molduga has not changed in thousands of years.
There are so many of them.
Fair point.
But why would they?
Got a couple of batteries going on.
So it's got a lot of that power.
Yeah. His third eye opened. Did you guys see that?
He knows.
That blast wiped out all the Molduga! How is that possible?
Them Duga are done.
Then do Molduga. They be squirming.
Stick a fork in them, Duga. They done.
So brute force will not be enough.
That was a lot of Dugas in your defense, my guy.
You tried.
The secret stone of the Zonai. How interesting.
Oh. He wants the secret stone.
I don't think that was the cutscene with Twin Rova. Just a side note. All right, hold on. Let me get back to what we do when we do, how we doing, what we doing.
What we do.
Come on.
It's
Focus. Try
fluffy,
again.
blurry, fine. Oh, now it's focus fine.
It is. I didn't even switch over on my recording until I got it in focus. So yeah, lot of cool things going on in this little altercation. Apparently the thing to do when the Molduga are on their way, which it seems like they had a system in place where Sonya would give the time juice to Raru's light power, and he would shoot beams at them. But with Zelda on board, the beam became like an orbital strike that just looked like it cut a line through the world.
Like a particle laser.
It's like something out of One Punch Man, like just nonsense, over the top explosion time.
Or like something out of Helldivers 2.
Yeah, it was the ego
Particle
strike.
beam from the sky.
Yeah, Ganondorf saw that and he's like, time to rearrange my plans, possibly go a little more sneaky this time, because I'm not about that.
Yeah, I mean, if all them Duga didn't brute force it, he's not getting through with anything else.
No.
Yeah. So
at least not down a little alley like that where a beam would just totally destroy you.
Yeah. So why do we think Zelda has ridiculously overpowered time powers?
Yeah.
Well, she has time and light, right? But
yeah. But they say it's more time, so I'm thinking like 70-30, 75-25. But yeah, she giving the juice out. Probably both of them.
Anthony, what were you going to say?
I mean, she that highly a reincarnation, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it would have been something if they put like the Triforce on her hand when it happened or something. But like, they didn't do that. They didn't show that for some reason.
What's a Triforce? They don't got those in
this game. Doesn't know anything about Triforces. I mean, the symbol is still floating around. You know, if you really look for it, you can find it somewhere. But
yeah,
like on the sword
only, and that's it.
But yeah, there's
it's hidden. They don't want to talk about that.
So that was like the one hint that we got that they still care about, like Zelda being that character in this game. Because I don't think that whole like she's super powered ever really comes back up in this game. But you know, cool thing to note. Ganondorf apparently just has a horn that calls Moldugas, like something straight out of Dune. Like I don't know.
He's not only the Gerudo King and the Bandit King, he's the Duga King.
This was official. He's the Moldu King. We've already fought him in the DLC. Yeah.
Ganondorf's like, if you were to fight him in the past, his boss name would be Molduga King, Master of the Desert.
Yeah,
or something like that. Or Scourge of the Desert.
Scourge of the Desert.
Scourge.
Scourge of Hyrule. I thought we decided that he was the Gibdo King too. So he's just a king of everything. Anything desert related. That's just.
We're just gonna call him King.
Okay. We're just gonna call him King. Go off, King. Take over Hyrule. You deserve it.
Scourge King of King.
All right, let's go. Let's go. We're gonna see the king doing something very familiar in this next one. This Memory 7 is called the Show of Fealty, and you guys might recognize this scene. Hold on, let me swap on over to my blah blah blah.
All
right, ready? This one's pretty dope.
Allow me to offer you my deepest
There
apologies.
they are. The two Gerudo directly behind
On
him.
behalf of the Gerudo, for taking so long to accept your repeated invitations. It is our desire to be accepted into the protective embrace of your kingdom. To serve it faithfully.
A welcome appeal, Ganondorf. I will accept your vow of fealty to the kingdom of Hyrule. I understand that a single male is born to the Gerudo every 100 years. Receiving such an appeal from you, a hero to his people and a king by birth, well, it is truly reassuring.
It is my honor. When your Zonai ancestors first descended upon these lands long, long ago, they must have seemed to be gods. And now you rule as king, and have taken a Hyrulean woman as your wife. Your Majesty has certainly risen above your admirable lineage. Most impressive. It is unfortunate that the noble Zonai no longer grace this world with their presence. All except you and your sister, that is.
Even if something were to happen to me, both my kingdom and the peace it brings, these will endure for generations to come. Your actions today are appreciated, Ganondorf. I look forward to your future endeavors. You may leave.
Your Majesty.
Dramatic turn.
Right.
King Roru, I believe that man's heart holds many dark ambitions. Just his name, even that, it gives me pause.
I am well aware of his evil nature. For that reason, and others, I want him close. It will be easier to keep an eye on him. There is nothing to worry about.
Okay.
So,
Zelda got them feelings.
something I noticed, which didn't notice before, it's a cool, interesting, like, story symbolic piece. The story started out very bright. You know, we have the scene with the Deku Tree, and then we have the first few scenes with Sonya and all that. And then as we progress more through these cutscenes, I'm noticing that it's getting darker. Like, there was 2 sunset scenes now. It's like they're trying to kind of symbolize, like, hey, the story's kind of turning. If the next scenes are at nighttime, I win.
You're gonna be upset when you see the very next one, but that's okay. It's just hilarious for you to say that while I'm staring at the screen. But there, I think there is some night coming up, so you're not wrong. The trend is there.
Oh, it's another day.
Yeah, so this is straight out of Ocarina of Time. Welcome back. This is Ganondorf through the window bowing down to the King of Hyrule. Did you
Swearing
see
it's totally legitimate fealty.
Right, swearing totally legitimate fealty, and then saying a bunch of backhanded stuff about
His lineage.
about who Rauru is and what his people represent, and basically his entire tone was facetious about it all. Yeah, he's playing some games here. He's basically just, the way he said everything, it was as if it was an insult, and it basically was. Like, it was all just undercut with the tone. The twin rover in the background was a nice touch. I mean, just the two with the masks, like one had a red gem, one had a blue gem. Kind of cool detail to throw in. Kind of wish they had made a little bit of a bigger deal about it, but that's okay. Not super worried about that. You guys catch that cheesy Sonya smile when Raru was like, "We have nothing to worry about," and she was like in the background, like she didn't put a thumb up literally, but she tried to give like some reassurance.
Yeah, so the gist of that cutscene, I guess, is that even though Ganondorf is currently being civil, everyone knows he's a malicious little macaroon on the inside, and so they're watching him.
Yeah. Okay, so hold up. So when Zelda was like, Ganondorf, even that name gives me pause. Did that hit any of you guys the wrong way?
Yeah, like we didn't just beat Calamity Ganon.
Game's like, I don't see it.
I mean, you could even go as far as to say, if you don't even think about that, like just, the whole Zelda, Ganondorf, Link reincarnation thing going on forever. You'd think that at some point, even the names would start kind of ringing bells. But even if it was before Zelda met Ganondorf in her current form, if you just went up to her and said Ganon, she'd be like, "Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Something about that. I don't like that."
I mean, she fought Calamity Ganon for 100 years, and then meets a Ganondorf, who, according to Gerudo legend, which was stated in Breath of the Wild, once took the form of a Gerudo. And she's just not, and she was pretty close friends with Urbosa, Zelda and Urbosa were tight. She probably knew about that, and still was just like, Ganondorf, that's just a little odd. I'm wondering.
It's a wee bit.
All right, that's my commentary on that, I guess. This next one's called Zelda and Sonya.
Maybe Ganon is just a common name for folk in the desert.
Oh yeah, like every third male this name.
Yeah,
tons of Ganons. Yeah, all the males.
The ones that come around every 100 years. All right, let me get back to this casino.
It's been a millennia worth of Ganons.
All right.
Get back to that full screen.
Okay, here we go. Zelda and Sonya. Roll it. We're about the halfway mark here, I think. Who are these kids with spears?
Oh!
Hey, we can do that.
That's not recall.
Are you well? You seem a bit distracted.
I apologize. I keep getting lost in my thoughts, thinking about how I can return home. With your power over time, if I were able to learn that kind of control, I might be one step closer to my era.
I see. The secret is to think of it like drawing out the object's memory. You ask the object where it was, how it arrived where it is now, and then you coax it back to that original moment in time.
The object's memory.
I'm sure it will become almost like second nature, and you will be able to find your way home. But Zelda, there is more on your mind than just that.
Huh?
You, of course, do want to get back to your time. But you also desperately want to help us out in this era. Am I close to the truth?
How did you know?
I do not believe it is possible to keep anything secret from Sonya.
Oh, your concern is very sweet, Zelda. But listen, you can focus your attention on returning home. After all, you possess more than power over time. You have a sacred power that can dispel evil. Both of these powers will help you protect your own era.
Queen Sonya!
And of course, you must make it home safe to put Link's mind at ease.
Link? That is not a name I have heard.
He is a royal knight. He had been originally appointed for my protection.
It's girl talk.
But later, he became a hero by saving both me and Hyrule from a great evil.
When Dad finds out about the boyfriend.
A hero, is he?
He is so very dedicated, and he refuses to back down from any challenge. He is very strong. And his heart is good and true.
Ah, I can see that you have absolute faith in him. Hearing you speak so highly of Link, I find myself wanting to meet him as well.
Indeed. I would also like to meet him. He must be quite the brave, courageous knight. What a picture Zelda paints of him.
Oh, it's just their hats that make them look like kids from a distance. All right. Oh, it almost had it. My webcam. Why do you struggle so bad? I'm going to let people see what's happening because this is...
Spear guarded tea party time.
Right? Two dudes with Zonai spears are going to make sure that the royalty is safe from Moldugas and the such.
From the Dugas.
So yeah, it wasn't nighttime. And sorry about that.
Yeah, I mean, they had to throw a little catch in there. It's like, hey, whoa, slow down. It's not that evil yet. We'll get there.
You had to cleanse your palate. It was getting a little too intense for a second.
Yeah.
And to give you a breather before they get even more intense.
They really did play up the whole like parental unit scene here. Like it definitely felt like Zelda was talking to her parents in this scene, even though like her parents in the modern era are all not alive anymore. It felt like found family kind of situation where like this whole conversation started out like mom can trying to give some advice to daughter. Suddenly the boyfriend gets mentioned. The dad's like, wait a minute, there's a boy? I've never heard this name. Like,
oh, Lincolnshire.
Who's the boy? And he's like, yeah, he's basically the best. And he's like, I want to meet him.
He's super strong.
They're so supportive. Starting to really like this couple. Sonia's just so nice. I hope nothing bad happens to her. Are you guys ready for the next cutscene?
Her new dad
just
lets
like
her research.
Is a mutual bonding and mentorship. Well, I mean, it's not mutual in the mentorship, but I mean,
yeah, I
they
think
probably are happy to help out.
I think it was funny when Sonia did her whole explanation of how recall works, and it was something. Have you guys seen like I think it was called the Sorcerer's Apprentice or something like that? It was like a Nicolas Cage movie.
Maybe a long time
sound
ago.
Familiar? That might be
familiar.
It might be the wrong name. Here, let me use my phone real quick and look this up because it's worth talking about in this moment.
It's worth talking about.
It was a 2010 film. Yeah, Nicolas Cage was Balthazar Blake, and his apprentice was Jay Baruchel. I'm not going to say that name right. Sorry, Jay. Playing David Stutler. But in this movie, Nicolas Cage, as this sorcerer, is teaching his apprentice how to use magic, and he goes through a whole explanation of how like the physics of temperature works and how you can make things set on fire if you understand what you're actually trying to do by raising the temperature of something by moving its molecules. And that is what this scene sounded like to me when she's like, you just have to like trace the history of the object and then coax it back to where it was. I'm like, that's not... Coaxing it back is what she's asking you how to do. Like you just like spread out the idea into a bunch of smaller ideas. You didn't tell her how to do anything. It's like if you can explain the physics, it makes it a lot easier to do the magic. I'm like, that's not how. Okay.
I can imagine like Link trying to do it like every time he's using the power. And he's like, all right, just coax it back, just coaxing back, just coax. There we go. Yep, just a little bit more.
Speaking of things we all wish we could coax back, you guys ready for this memory number 9? I don't even want to tell you what it's called because it give a dead giveaway what's gonna happen.
I need to know what it's called.
Birthday party.
It's called Sonia is Caught by Treachery.
Oh, I know what this.
So let's go see what treachery she's caught.
No. Oh no, Sonia, my girl.
Yes, no bueno. All right, let's roll that footage regretfully. The titles really ruin these.
All right, Zelda. We are alone as you requested.
Weird request.
What
okay.
was it you wanted to discuss with me in private?
You are far too trusting.
Oh my. I'm surprised to hear you say such a thing. That is quite out of character for the Zelda I know. But then you are a puppet of Ganondorf.
Did you really think we hadn't realized your deceit?
That Felda though. Felda was just a distraction though.
No.
Not the secret stone.
Your Majesty! Queen Sonia! Queen Sonia!
That face though.
Oh my goodness. That's some nightmare fuel on that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those animators did Ganondorf either so beyond right or so dirty.
I
Could go either way.
I heard from the Book of Medora podcast that they made his face like an Oni face, like they made it straight up Japanese demonic, like that's like they just straight up took that art form and just applied it to that animation, which I don't doubt. I haven't looked at very much Oni art, but you know, I believe that checks out.
It does check out like that. It kind of reminds me of in animes where like the evil villain finally succeeded, you know, in his plan, and he has like tormenting the protagonist or whatever, and he just has that like sinister look. Maybe he's like tilting his glasses up a little bit, like like that kind of thing.
What? Okay.
Like somebody whose malicious ambitions are starting to show fruit.
Yeah.
Dark fruit.
Yeah.
Cynical fruit.
Seems like this. I mean, one thing about this scene is that Zelda did learn how to use time powers. So that whole coaxing talk apparently turned into something. Like she was wielding that recall like it was, you know.
Oh, she coaxed it.
Fine precision. You know, she could have let it fly all the way back. I don't know why she stopped it. Sure.
That is fair.
It is Felda. I mean, if she
take out Felda.
If she had taken out Felda back then, maybe we wouldn't have to fight Felda in the modern day. But, you know.
Too nice.
Is what it is.
Felda's just a monster.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting that Felda wasn't the one that actually, like, took out Sonia. She was actually just that distract. Like, and I don't know if that was plan A. That might have been plan B. Like, hey, if they catch you, don't worry, I'll sneak up. But that just seemed way too well orchestrated.
Yeah, he was right there waiting to pounce.
And the stone didn't even fall with her. Like, it like stayed floating in the air so he could grab it. Like, I don't know what that's about. The whole thing.
Hey, that's just cinematographic. It just looks cooler for that to happen than for her to drop and him to bend down and pick it up.
I can.
He just moves so fast that as she was falling, he's just like.
Or you could say that like the jolt of it looked like she might have got like hit in the back. Like the jolt from her midsection might have sent her necklace up as her body was falling if it all happened at the same time. If that would be a big shockwave. A massive one through a body to ripple.
It is Ganondorf.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
It's pre-Secret Stone Ganondorf, though. He doesn't have the Secret Stone yet.
I mean,
he's still a beast.
Pre-Infinity Gauntlet Thanos is still Thanos. I mean, he still snaps people.
You're not wrong.
Ganondorf,
that kind of snap.
pretty strong, I feel like, still, without anything.
Okay. It's not wrong.
Yeah.
So
Ganondorf got his hands on that stone.
So I just checked, and there's actually 18 of these memories, and we just finished. We just finished the 9th. How are you guys feeling? Do you want to keep going, or do you want to call it there for tonight?
It's up to you guys. I'm good.
It would be good for probably up to like 3 or 4 more.
Okay. This next one is actually like a direct continuation of the one we just watched, so we can jump right into that as well. This is number 10, Birth of the Demon King. I wonder if we'll get Ganondorf's history.
Maybe we can leave a cliffhanger on this one, since it's like the direct follow-up, and then do the rest.
And then what happens from there?
That?
Find out next time.
Find out next time when you're watching this continuously.
Yeah.
Queen Sonia! Queen Sonia!
She's like in the danger zone right now, though. But she's so distracted. And Ganondorf got what he wanted, apparently, because he doesn't do anything about Zelda.
Finally, it is mine!
He considers her about as serious as a fly at this point, I'd imagine. He's wrong, but I mean,
why is it growing?
Because it's all evil now. Put his evil power in it.
And the Demon King Stone grew 3 sizes that day.
Right onto his forehead. Right.
I can feel my strength surging.
He gave him new jewelry and everything.
It's a nice mark on your forehead that's going to turn you into a beast there again. He's feeling that stone. Look at that, he's got some 5 health. The sense is looking pretty stimulated right about now.
Big old blood moon, my guy.
It is.
He's got that demise hair.
He does. He's got the demise skin, too.
With a blood moon like that, it's like nature itself, so it's not bad just happening.
Oh no, not the spirit children.
And all of a sudden, there's monstrosities everywhere.
Wow. He's got like lava cloak going on.
Sonia!
You were too late, Rauru. You took for granted the godlike power you had in your hands. Do you now see the potential you squandered? As for her, she is merely the first victim of your arrogance. You tried to control me, Rauru, and you will die knowing that you failed.
Yo, those teeth.
Queen Sonia needs you!
fast travel system wins in the end.
Right, she just did a Goku's instant transmission. It's like, listen, we're all playing around with a bunch of great secret stone powers, but let me show you one that we fabricated thousands of years in the future. It's called I Teleport Away. Yeah. It really feels like it's on the same level as like, here, let me eat like a buffet out of my pocket. For them to just be like, oh, I mean, it's cutscene, they're in real dire like straits, but hey, they got fast travel, so
yeah. It definitely feels like a cop out in the middle of a cutscene in a way, but it's also like, all right. But yeah, we get to see how Ganondorf is just a cold dude.
Yeah, right? He straight up like blamed Sonya's death on him. He was like, this is because of your arrogance. Like, she's just the first victim. I was like, dang, dude. Like, way to deflect responsibility. Like, you're the one murdering people.
Right? Always love the irony of the bad guy saying it's anyone's fault aside from the bad guy forcing all the ultimatums on everyone around them. It's like, bruh, nobody would have to choose anything if you weren't here making people choose stuff. Like, how do you even get away with justifying it in yourself that you don't hold any blame here? Like, what? Or that it should be on someone else? It's like, you shush. That's the level of that ego.
Yeah.
The king of the desert.
My dude just started infesting the whole world. He put 3 like Lionels all in one spot. You know they're gonna have to spread out. Those guys are territorial. They're not gonna all chill together like that.
It'd be way too difficult of a fight too. 3 at the same time.
Right. I mean, the only place where there's that many there is like they're all kind of locked up in separate rooms, just waiting for someone to hit the switch to open a treasure chest.
Also, I feel like the meme phrase "this escalated quickly" applies to this based on the last cutscene of like, oh yeah, my fealty, my guy. Literally, like, what, like a week later, maybe in actual time, we don't know how much longer. He's like stabbing his wife in the back and stealing the stone. Like, I mean, that gang went to 100 real quick with that one.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Bro, did he even stab her? I feel like he just kicked her so hard he killed her.
Punched her in the back really hard or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
there was a noise.
It was a thud noise. It wasn't like a. It was like boom.
Yeah,
and literally just like Super Smash Bros. You know, Ganondorf punched her in the back.
That spine punch, man. It's like a gut punch in the back. It's an oof.
That's rough stuff. She got adjusted, my guy.
Yeah,
and like
some intense chiropractic right there.
Think of like
she fell unconscious because of all the relief she just got. She wasn't actually dead.
So relieved from that alignment.
So what were you saying?
We're all out of whack.
What were you saying about the blood moon, Anthony?
I forgot.
All right, cool.
Chiroprancy just took over.
But yeah, I mean, this is like the climax of Ganondorf's power, right? Like he just straight up changed the game with this one. Actually, I don't even know if that's actually like the strongest he gets, but pretty serious display for someone who's never used a secret stone before.
Yeah. Like, he grabs the stone knowing nothing about it, increases its power seemingly at least 2 to 3 times, and then just unleashes an entire army all at once from his own powers with no physical body behind them. It's just the manifestation of his malevolence. Just creates an army on the spot and is like, yeah, we're at war now.
Yeah,
we doing this.
Those poor little dudes with the spears. Just like
Oh, they were not prepared.
they were not. They're like, I've been training all my
Four
life with
goblins
this
popping up on you.
poking stick, but I didn't expect it.
Even
to be.
Link sometimes. My kid jump by horde of goblins.
Yeah. So I think this is where we will take a break. This is where, if you're a keen watcher, you'll see us all probably end up in different outfits for this part 2 of this recording. But luckily, while we, even if we don't watch it continuously, you will be able to. So the last 8 of these, we are going to save for the next time we record. That way we can have more energy for it, be responsible with our sleep schedules, all that good stuff. And we will catch you next time for that. And we're back. And we're on our 11th memory here. Hi, everybody. These are our new outfits. Peep the fit.
Peep my new
not a big
chair.
deal.
While and the kids checking forward.
It's a cat paw. Drinking out of new mugs. It's great. But yeah, so guys, before we keep going, there was something that I kind of wanted to stop and ask you guys your opinions on here. Because we didn't really talk about it, but it kind of struck me afterwards, and I just remembered some other things that I've heard and looked into and whatnot. So you know how like Ganondorf came and was like swearing fealty to the King Rauru, after like several invitations, I believe was what was stated. How do we feel about that? Like, do you think that Rauru and Sonia founded Hyrule, and then the Gerudo Desert was like a bordering nation that they were trying to like take over diplomatically, or do you think they were trying to include them in the Kingdom of Hyrule? Like, what do you think is going on there? Because clearly Ganondorf's like, nah, like I'm not really gonna swear fealty, and I'm kind of annoyed that you keep asking me to.
Maybe like two situations where one, it was like an annex situation, like you mentioned, where they were just trying to incorporate the Gerudo into, part of Hyrule. Maybe he already had the Zora. Well, obviously the Zora and Gorons and them were all involved in Hyrule because they were with the Secret Stones, unless they just weren't part of the Hyrule Nation at that point. But I think of it like that.
Yeah. It just seems like Ganondorf has extra reason to be upset with Rauru. I mean, I know that like he just did the whole spiel and turned into a demon and everything. So like we've already kind of seen what becomes of it. But like even before, like in this latest cutscene where he told Rauru that he was arrogant, like you had all this power and you never used it. It was like, well, he was trying to be nice about things, even though he was still kind of taking over the area by founding Hyrule, I don't know. Just seems.
Maybe they had a war, like a mini war with like soldiers and such.
Yeah, with a bunch of Molduga that got laser beamed out the gorge. that was kind of like a mini war, right? I mean,
It was a thing. It's kind of surprising they didn't see Ganondorf back there on the mountain, kind of summoning them and pushing them all. Like, hey, go attack those guys! And then a week later, oh, I'm here to swear fealty. It's like, it's weird.
Maybe they did have a series of mini battles, and that was just one of them.
I feel like Hyrule just, they decided to start Hyrule, and then they were like, they sent out kind of like messages to the surrounding people, like, yo, Hyrule? And then the Zora's like, hey, and the Gorons were like, rocks? And they were like, okay. And then they sent a couple to the Gerudo, and they probably just never got a response. Like, I don't even think it comes down to what they wanted from the Gerudo. I think they probably just tried to initiate some kind of, hey, what's up? We're here now. And Ganondorf's just like, that's cute, and just threw it over his shoulder and never returned anything. That just seems like a Ganondorf move until he wanted something, and then of course he's right there going, "Oh yeah, no fealty, I got you, bro."
So it wasn't repeated, like it wasn't repeated invitations as much as it was actually just like follow-up calls. Like
yeah, that's what I would say. Like, hey, we're Hyrule.
Just like, did you hear about the offer? Like, did you want to be a part of Hyrule? Like, what's going on?
Yo,
If
I don't
not,
know.
that's totally cool. I respect it, but
Did
I mean,
our
we
did
do
our
have a
messenger
kingdom.
like? Did you get that message though, or like any of those other 5 we sent? Like,
Are you ghosting
Our-
me, bro?
our messenger said he got it to you. Like, what's going on, bud?
Like, we know you're out there, not a mirage. All right. So, politics aside, we can go into the actual war now, and we'll play this Memory 11, the Demon King's army, and see what kind of heat Ganondorf's packing here. You guys ready for me to play it though?
Mhm.
All right, here we go.
Rise, my servants. Sweep over Hyrule with the power I have granted. Eliminate this kingdom and their allies. Leave no survivors.
He leaves a lot of survivors though.
He does. I mean, he does come in with a pretty humongous army, but he does leave a lot of survivors.
I mean, really though, like the Lionels and maybe some like Silver Moblins are really the only things that are that dangerous.
I mean, I feel like to the average soldier, you know, we're not talking about Link here. We're just talking about like the average Hyrulean soldier. I feel like their match is a Moblin.
And even a blade of grass is deadly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a Moblin or a Bokoblin even at that point is deadly. I feel like maybe the Zoras and Gorons and Rito could take out the other dudes, but I can't see a Hyrulean soldier doing anything outside Bokoblins, to be honest.
I mean, we've seen the monster, whatchamacallit, control force in this game. I mean, they're not completely useless, but yeah, I mean, against an army like this, for sure, they're not going to have problems. But I mean, this is like King Rauru time. So, I mean, people were actually equipped with Zonai gear. So maybe they had a better chance because of that.
They might have had constructs they could have used to fight too at that point.
Oh yeah, they definitely had steward constructs. I know that, which would imply that there were some actual guard ones as well.
I feel like they had to have, because where did they come from then? They
Yeah,
left
right. This would
behind-
be the time that they're from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they should have their own invariable army, although whether or not it would stand up, I don't know. Like, do they have the flux constructs too? Can they send those giant cube things out to wreck some moblins and stuff? Because if that's a possibility, then this could be like a real, like a somewhat even fight. I mean, the Lionels are still going to be a problem, and if they have Gleoks in there, those will also be a problem. We didn't see those in the video.
No.
Terrifying.
But we did Ganondorf himself, like riding on the steed, shooting giant red destructo discs out of his sword.
It's like an Elden Ring boss,
right?
I just need Ganondorf to see a filthy monkey.
I will say, luckily, we do not have to play
Filthy
horseback.
monkey.
All saying different things at the same time.
It's a Dragon Ball Z reference.
Yeah. But you guys ready for the next one? Because we're gonna see what the response to this is.
Yeah, there wasn't much to add, and that was just all out chaos.
It was just kind of showing off Ganondorf. All right, let me swap over my screens like I do sometimes.
I guess it really shows how merciless he is if you didn't already know, though.
No survivors.
Leave no survivors.
Right?
I don't want him at a party.
The kingdom is a her.
He could have been like, leave 3 survivors.
What? Okay.
Exactly 3.
Bring me some hostages for questioning. It's a really specific command for the whole army.
King Rauru, we just received word that the last free village in the Gerudo Desert has fallen.
Oh no. That's an interesting detail, actually.
At this rate, the Demon King's army will overwhelm us.
I understand. Our only hope is for me to defeat the Demon King.
Rauru. The Demon King. He is not someone you can stop by yourself. But you are not alone.
Bars.
You have the Gerudo, Goron, Zora, and Rito leaders as well as Zelda. And
There's Zelda.
you can count on me.
As well as Zelda. You saw how effective she was as a battery pack.
There's something I'd like to show you all.
Secret stones?
Hey, you spoiling the cutscene before we even get to it?
I haven't seen this one before.
Imprisoning war?
Secret war?
That's too many stones for one room, my guy.
Sacred stones.
I mean, they did say it right there.
Stand with me. I need all your aid.
I remember thinking that was a horn on his nose. It's just like makeup.
Those things are so big.
Don't worry, they shrink.
Yeah, I know, but oh my god. Immediately accessorizing.
Right? Look, a bracelet form. Look, a whole belt.
Passion stones.
Belt buckle.
You get a glove.
We all, gathered here, swear on our lives to serve Rauru, the King of Light.
Did they rehearse that? I mean, they must have, right? That was like perfectly in sync.
That's just how it goes.
Don't think I
So, you know, like, first thing I was kind of curious about, or like wondering last time, that now I guess kind of was answered, that like, are the Gerudo behind what Ganondorf is doing? And I kind of had the feeling that he was like the rogue element there. And now that they're talking about the free Gerudo people falling, kind of reminding me of like Hong Kong and China, I'm like, oh, okay, they weren't part of that.
Yeah. They for sure were like against it, it seems. Even though they were totally for sending Molduga, I guess Ganondorf either saw no more use for them and decided that he was going to start conquering his own people, or once they saw what happened to him, they were like, no, not this. And he was like, yes, this, actually.
Yeah, he went too far. It's sort of like a mirrored situation of Ocarina of Time, where like Nabooru, I think it's Nabooru, right? Naboru. I give up. She was kind of going against Ganon, and she had like a secret little like task force that was against him, kind of like secretly plotting like to go around him. I mean, I think more so here, where there's like entire villages that are against him, or maybe the whole populace. Maybe he was just alone after that.
I mean, I think he was either alone or he just had like a sect of them that were like his followers.
Like Twin Rova.
Yeah, like a small like elite group of the ones that followed him versus the rest that he then conquered later.
It was just his mom. You can take over Hyrule, Ganondorf. It's okay.
Hey, Ma! I want to take over an opposing country again, Ma! I got secret stones this time, Ma!
All right, we'll be home by 6.
Look at my little demon king. He's going and playing Conqueror again. It's Ganondorf. I ain't playing, Ma.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know why that popped up into my head the other day of sounding like that, but I love it. I don't even remember where I know it from. The whole ma.
It's a trope at this point. I'm pretty sure that's in a few different things. But oh goodness.
Super Boston.
All right, so he's declaring sages, or they're declaring themselves. I guess they all immediately and uniformly made a declaration that they will be serving Rauru with the secret stones.
I mean, makes sense. Divided, I think they're guaranteed to fall to him. The only way they stand even a remote chance is together.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome that
Rauru takes personal responsibility because he not only like has the secret stones, but because his power is specifically about destroying evil. Like, right? Isn't that how Mineru's been describing it this whole time? Has been like he can either repel or destroy evil with his light power. And he's like, well, clearly this is evil, so it's my job. Or do you think it's just
Rauru here also? I mean, could be. But speaking on that note, actually, I like what they showed Rauru here as like the difference between commanding respect and demanding respect. Like, if Rauru was playing the king that was demanding respect, he would have said something like, hey, everybody, I'm your king, and I'm sending you to go fight this thing. But he didn't do that. He said, I have to fight this. So he excluded them, like saying, I have to protect you guys. And because he did that, I feel like they were all the more likely to say, no, we're going to fight with you. Like, you're going to sacrifice yourself for us? Like, we're going to help you out. And, you know, that can show... In real life, obviously, there's not too many situations where it's like life or death like that, but there are very real situations between commanding and demanding respect where you either put yourself in the position to be the person that's respected, or you stand there and just expect everybody else to respect you because of some position or some arbitrary thing. And he does a great job. Even though he's the king, he still makes the right choices and gets the respect in the best way he possibly could instead of using any other method, including fear.
Yeah.
Like, he could go Ganondorf himself, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. He could.
We also have, like...
What's up?
I was going to say that the point that Ganondorf made, I think it was the scene where he was swearing fealty. He told Rauru that, you know, where have the Zonai gone? It's like, they left and all that is here is but you. Or someone said that.
Yeah.
And... it kind of makes you wonder, like, you know, we don't know the reason why they left. We don't know if they died, if they disappeared, if they chose to left. Maybe they're from the stars. Maybe they went to a different land. Maybe this is like what they do is like they like cast off like one or two of their kind and like help a kingdom. And so maybe Rauru was left in charge of Hyrule. So he's like fully personally responsible for what happens in Hyrule. Like, we don't know his circumstances, why he's the king of light, why he's been left. As him and his sister are the only Zonai. I wonder, it kind of makes you wonder, are they going to do like more on this, like on a side content? On like, where are the Zonai? Why did they leave poor baby Rauru?
I don't know. I mean, it does seem like something that could pop up in like a Hyrule Historia type book if they ever wanted to talk about that, but I don't think they would. I think they like keeping the Zonai a mystery, and they have since they invented the word, because it's literally what where it came from was the word for mystery. They just like flipped it around.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we're ever going to get that answer. I just kind of assumed that. I didn't assume they were the last survivor. I don't think the rest of the Zonai are like doomed, but I do think that maybe Rauru was originally here for Sonia, and then Hyrule was an idea that they had together. That's just my guess, though. Yeah. So, like, if the rest of the Zonai were moving on, he was like, well, actually,
I want to stay.
I want to stay. I have this really cool relationship going on. And then Mineru's like, well, I'm not leaving my brother behind, so I'm going to stay back too, because who knows what he'll get up to if I don't.
Almost makes you wonder, are they like, you know, celestial beings? Are they part of like the Twilight Realm, possibly? Like, They share a lot of the same architecture and
Part of the Uka, you know. Been playing a lot of Twilight Princess lately, okay?
They're related to
And
Midna.
a lot of the descriptions for the Uka are actually the same as the Zonai.
yeah, maybe they're like an offshoot. They have their own realm or something.
Which
Yeah,
came
when you said
first?
Uka, the first thing that came to my mind was Uka Uka from Crash Bandicoot.
Oh no, it's the save your spot in this dungeon chicken from Twilight Princess.
Oh, those really disturbing looking.
Oh yeah,
naked man chicken things.
Yeah, they
Nice.
the ones that
The ones that have like the dead face.
existed before Hylians and live in a city in the sky and are said to have somehow founded like Hyrule in the first place. So all the things that
Other weird chicken things.
Yeah. So basically, it's a whole thing. I don't. Nintendo and all the fans tend to try to just ignore the fact that the Uka exists. Other than the
I heard it
memes.
trying.
It's pretty bad. It was like their first shot at a Zonai species. I think is really
Yeah, I
what it
remember
was.
being terrified of these things. I'm looking them up now. I remember like
Oh, don't.
when I first played Twilight Princess, I was terrified of these things in game.
Oh yeah,
But they're all friendly, so
they're a little nightmare fuely.
Yeah, but like if you ever saw like Deviant art, if anyone has the stomach for some nightmares
Oh,
before
no.
bedtime, look
No,
up. Uka.
We're not going to make recommendations on DeviantArt. I'm sorry. Let's not. Let's keep it moving. Okay. All right. So I think we've gotten off track a bit here. We do have Memory 13. It's called The King's Duty. Are you guys ready to see what that's about?
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Just swap on. Oh. It's this one. Hold on. What is happening to my... Okay, there we go. View that mem.
View that mem.
Sonia. Oh, Zelda.
King Rauru, before you face the Demon King tomorrow, there is something I must tell you. I came to this era after finding a man underground.
Go on.
When I witnessed what the Secret Stone did to Ganondorf, at that moment, I knew for sure what we found underground, that was him. He was still alive, still powerful. He continues to live on, all the way until my time. In tomorrow's battle, we won't be able to defeat him. No matter how strong we think we are, he'll survive. And you will.
Maybe so. But it is my duty to try. It was my hubris that set us on this path. I must atone for my error in judgment. And above all else, I remain the King of Hyrule. As with any leader, it is my duty to safeguard and protect my people, even if I must risk my life.
Rauru.
And if it proves impossible for us to defeat Ganondorf, we rely on your knight, and that legendary sword he carries. Our last line of defense will be Link. But remember, that was a future where you never appeared in this world. You are here now.
Okay.
Zelda, I believe there is a reason you were sent to us. It has to mean something.
The reason I am here.
Okay.
So I got mad vibes from that one. In the spot
There's
where
so much to be said. Go ahead. What's your first thought?
So the spot where Zelda, after she did her spiel of, oh well, you're not gonna possibly survive Rauru, and in my time he's still alive, and then she like kind of like looks down and like gets all sad. And he comes over to her and just puts his hand on her shoulder, and she kind of like goes like, what? And then she's like, maybe so, but it is my duty to try. And she goes, I feel like I personally connected that to, she instantly was just like, you remind me of Link. Like, he gave Link vibes there. They have the same aura, the same positivity. I feel like if Link could talk, that's exactly what he would have just said there.
I almost agree with you. I mean, clearly he's ready to go and do his duty and like do this amazing thing. I think that the maybe so, but we have to try is almost more of a Zelda attitude from Breath of the Wild, honestly. Like, it just seems like, I don't know, it seems like she's like that has kind of been her character, and it to me, that viewpoint on royalty and nobility has been passed down through the generations, and that's like something that like she recognized when he was like.
Do you think he like sparked something in her that like made her come back to her senses to like try?
Yeah,
he's like emanating noblesse oblige, which is the idea that people with power and riches should use it for the people that are less well off. And I feel like there's just an air of selflessness and maybe even righteousness in all three of those characters we just talked about. Like what Link does, where he throws himself at every enemy that comes his way and beats himself against every wall to save the people he cares about. And Zelda doing everything she could and stressing herself out, anxiety ridden all the time, trying to do everything she could in her position. And Rauru now admitting that it was his, arguably like his ineptitude at accepting Ganondorf and thinking he was actually there for good reasons that allowed his wife to be killed. And he realizes that he probably shouldn't have been so naive at that point. Like, they're all showing just wisdom and selflessness and maybe even righteousness. So I think those are kind of what we're talking about in all three of those characters.
Yeah. So some cool other details that I kind of picked up watching this. When he starts out and he's looking at the grave, that in the present game, if you go to that room, that is actually there still. Like, that headstone is there. And there's actually a Sundelion with it. I think it's actually growing rather than just kind of being offered. Like, so whatever flower was put there actually dropped seed and made a new flower. But those flowers are the same. They're like almost the same as a Silent Princess, except they're golden instead of blue. Which,
are they still in the Forsaken or Forbidden Temple right now in the cutscenes?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry, I should have led with that and kind of mentioned what location that actually is. But yeah, it's the Forgotten Temple. And I remember finding that before seeing the cutscene and thinking that it was like a Zelda headstone and being like, oh no! Turns out that was wrong. And that's, for the best. But it to me, that was supposed to be like a mark of like their relationship. The fact that they both have these very similar flowers that seem to be related to one another, except for the color scheme, like it just like that was Sonia's flower, and then Zelda ends up getting her own flower later on. Well, I guess before she went to the past. So was it? It wasn't later for Zelda, but it was later for the universe, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't like how they tried to explain time travel either.
Yeah, that was one of the other details when Raru's like, well, that was from a time when you hadn't yet come back. And I'm like, that's not how Zelda time travel works. Like, there's a lot of different ways time travel works in different fictions. In this one, things usually make a closed loop. I mean, I know Ocarina of Time was like really jacked up in that sense, but Tears of
Raru
the
wouldn't
Kingdom,
know either way.
Yeah.
Raru wouldn't know what happened in the past of Zelda's world if it was a different world anyway, so he really doesn't have any spot to say anything about it.
Right. I mean, listen, he was married to someone who could like send things back in time, but it didn't. I mean, even that, it was just kind of a positioning thing. It wasn't like a history of the object kind of thing. So, I don't know. There just seems to be a lot of assumption in
They
what
weren't
it shares
creating
there.
timelines with her power.
Right. Yeah. So that did seem like a really weird thing for him to say, because she's already put 2 and 2 together. But she's like getting worried about it when he's kind of like, well, it is what it is, and we're gonna try anyway. So I don't know. I'm trying to think what the other thing I noticed was. Oh, she starts off by like telling her story. She's like, "Oh yeah, before I came back here, we found a man underground." And then he's like, "Go on." That's his only response to her saying that. Is like, "Continue the story. There must be more."
This is such a weird place for her to pause too. Like, before we came here, we found a man underground. Like, that means nothing, Zelda, actually. Before you came here, you probably walked on some grass, too. But, I mean, like, you want to tell us more about the grass or the guy? Like, why was he important?
Was he alive underground, or did you go grave robbing? Like, what's the story here, Zelda? Like, why?
Like, she should have started saying, we found a guy underground, and he was, like, frozen there, and an arm that looks a lot like your right arm was attached to his chest. And that would have been like, there's something there. We found a man underground. What was he even alive? Like, what?
Response of the century.
Go on.
Silly.
So that was.
I mean, what do you say to that,
found
though?
that humorous.
I feel like you say nothing and you just wait for them to go on because they haven't told you enough yet at that point. I would just stare at them like, there's got to be more than a man underground. Like, you got to give me something to work on.
Right. Goodness. Okay, so Zelda kind of is getting a picture where it says, and you know, he does the whole thing about there must be a reason why you came here, and she's like, oh, the reason I'm here, and there's still no explanation for why she got pulled back through time. Not sure if that was a Sonya thing or a Hylia thing. I mean, I think it reads more like a Hylia thing, but it's there really could have been more explanation for that whole process, because she was really just kind of falling to her doom, and the game was like, nah, just get warped back in time instead.
Yeah.
I mean, we already know why she went back, though. You kind of already get an idea of why she goes back before you even leave the Great Sky Island.
Yeah, I mean, the why and how it works in the story, like, we know. I guess what we don't know is the mechanic of it. Like, how does that actually happen?
Because we know that Link somehow loses the Broken Master Sword, and Zelda somehow obtains the Broken Master Sword, and we know, based on pretty much every Zelda game that's ever existed ever, that the Master Sword beats Big Bad Guy at the end of the game. So we pretty much know that her shtick in this is to repair the Master Sword so Link can use it again very soon in game, where it doesn't really make sense it was broken today and in a week it's going to be fully repaired, but it's actually been a long time. That was her whole thing. She was there to she was a repairman.
All right, so this next one, we're going to get the actual imprisoning war. At least that's what the cutscene is called. You guys ready to watch it? I gotta maximize this, and then we can...
You must obtain the crystal's crash.
Long ago, my people, known as the Zonai,
so
came down
that
from the
answers my
heavens
question.
to the surface of the world. It was said they were descendants of gods.
It's all in general terms, though.
They bore treasures from these same gods, secret stones capable of amplifying the abilities of those who possessed them.
What do you mean, these same gods? They said they were thought
Using
to
the
be.
knowledge
Descendants
of
of
the
the
Zonai,
gods.
my younger brother Rauru became a
Thought to
great
be.
leader. He met a young woman named Sonia, and they would wed. Rauru gifted Sonia one of the secret stones. Together, they sought to establish their kingdom. This is how the kingdom of Hyrule, with Rauru and Sonia as its first king and queen, came to be. The future looked bright. However, tragedy suddenly struck. A man of great evil emerged from the desert. The leader of the Gerudo, Ganondorf, killed Queen Sonia and stole her secret stone.
I like how they have a protractor to
Using
describe
the
the
secret
physics
stone,
of the situation that we were
Ganondorf
confused about.
transformed into the Demon King. He then created swarms of monsters and attacked.
Love the artwork during
Hyrule
this.
rose up to face these threats, but the evil power driving the monsters forward was staggering. The defenders were on the brink of defeat. Rauru then came up with a plan to turn the tide of the war. He entrusted secret stones to warriors with exceptional abilities. They became sages
I like
and
how the
united
Goron
in
looks
an
like a
effort to
turtle.
finally defeat the Demon King. Rauru and the sages outnumbered the Demon King and should have been able to stop him. However,
That face, though. It looks like the
the Demon
puppet from
King's
Wind
power
Waker.
had grown far beyond anything we could have imagined. I was unable to withstand his strength. Our fight appeared all but lost. And then, Rauru.
The anger. He did the doggo angry face.
Rightfully so.
And then he immediately calmed his own emotions.
He
to
committed himself to one final act.
do what he's doing right now.
That pride will be your downfall, Ganondorf!
Ooh.
Snap.
Hit him with the same line, though.
Couldn't have looked away, boy.
Your hubris sound familiar?
Gives him the open palm strike.
Exploding heart technique.
My heart is still my magic. You plan to hold me here. The clever way to solve your problems. But are you ready to pay the price for this?
Don't be so smug. I know exactly what it will cost me.
They weren't gonna win anyways.
Right?
Thousands of years will pass in the blink of an eye. You only delay the inevitable.
You're wrong. Years from now, someone will appear with the sword that seals the darkness. A swordsman with the power to defeat you. Link. Remember this name.
Interesting. I look forward to meeting you.
Wow.
So that doesn't really line up with when we see Ganondorf and the hand that Rauru was once attached to. It's no longer in, I guess, upright position. Ganondorf is now like, they put like a whole different, I guess, facility. Like Ganondorf is like on this like coffin type deal, and like the hand is like above his body, like overhead, and Rauru's not there, which means, I don't know, maybe it just happened differently in that timeline, but or maybe over time they built different things to support.
I mean, they
the seal.
definitely put like a whole castle over top of it, right? Like, isn't that? They definitely did something, but what I think is weird is like, could they not do anything to Ganondorf once he was stuck like that? Do you know what I mean? Like, they couldn't have defeated him once he was trapped or something, because he was still physically there. Do you think if they touched him, like, he would have become unsealed?
I think they were probably worried about that at least.
Mm-hmm.
Give him a good shake, hand falls off into the world kind of situation. Maybe not worth risking it.
Yeah, probably not.
And as far as like their relation to each other, I feel like maybe that just changed when Raru's body eventually withered away to dust, and now the arm wasn't like attached to anything, so it just kind of floated up in the air to be closer to the swirliness that was above it. And so Ganondorf's body just kind of limply hung there attached to it or something like that.
Mm.
I mean, we are talking thousands of years. Who knows? Maybe a rock fell off the ceiling and just knocked everything out of whack at one point. I don't know.
You guys see that you hear about the rock fall in Ganon's chamber? Yeah. Turns out it repositioned everything. Looks like he's standing a whole different way now. We should go check it out.
You should take pictures.
No, I wasn't really worried about that. Yeah, okay, so at the beginning of this scene, when everybody like throws something, he smacks away a bunch of it. Does he just tank the arrow? He just like lets it hit him, and it.
I think the arrow he
broke?
ducks like that, and it goes over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Something he just like hit with his chest, and it wasn't even a big deal. It like broke against him and just kept moving.
Yeah, he's pretty much invulnerable at this point.
Yeah. He's like, dodge that. Don't need to dodge that. Whatever. Smack. All right. I did think it was cool that Rauru was like, basically was like, okay, now you're the one who's being prideful now. Like, clearly, I mean, you're being the Demon King and you're here all smirking and smiling like we're about to seal you away for like that. But then Ganondorf was like, what a clever way to deal with your problems. Bro, did you just call yourself our problems? Because that's...
He did.
Kind of how that sounded when you said it just now. But then Rauru just like basically gives him like my big brother will come and deal with you speech. Like, you think you're cool now, but wait till my dad gets here.
Oh no.
Ganondorf's like, oh, your dad sounds interesting. I can't wait to meet him.
Basically.
They just tried to make it all sound cool.
I know, they're really trying to hype you up from 8 bajillion years ago. Someone will appear with the sword that seals the darkness. Does that exist yet? No. But they'll appear with it. Like, there's no legend surrounding the sword back then, but they must have heard that name from Zelda and been like, oh, sounds legit. Sound like that sword could probably do the job.
That sound legit.
Do you think they all knew this plan before they came into the room? Because it seems like they were pretty ready to all throw their stuff at once and then trick him into... Like, or do you think when, like, Rauru put his arms out to the sides after he regulated his emotions that he gave everyone the plan telepathically?
I feel
maybe
like
that was just a signal.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Maybe they didn't know going in.
I feel like they just saw him like preparing something, so they kind of were just like, distraction.
Perfectly timed.
The secret stones give some information from what I hear. I don't think that's how that works.
Their chakras are linked.
They're just that good of a team. I don't know. It just seemed like it worked as if it had all been planned out ahead of time. Like, hey, if things go south, here's what we're gonna do. And
I mean, very well could have done that, even though Zelda kind of motioned against it.
Yeah,
he kind of said like, nah, like if it comes to it, we're doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they were going to make it look cool for the sake of making it look cool, because video game, whether they talked about it beforehand or not, I don't think they're going to make it look sloppy and just for, oh, they didn't talk about it beforehand, guys, so it's not going to be as cool this time. No, they're always going to make it look cool because it's a video game and they want it to look cool. And you could make the excuse that they all knew about it going in, or they said it telepathically, but at the end of the day, it was just to make it look cool.
Can you imagine if they didn't make it look cool and like Rauru was preparing it, and then like Ganondorf like shoots out a beam, and the other ones try to attack him, and Ganondorf beats him down, and then Rauru like trips. It's like, oh no, but his hand like still manages to like land on Ganondorf, and then there's like, oh no, he tripped and hit me.
like something out of a Goofy cartoon. Like what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorge.
You see
you're sealed forever.
You see the Goron. The Goron in the corner is like peeling a rock like a banana, and then throws the rock peel on the ground, and Rauru slips on it and just grabs him on accident.
I think we need to move on. I think we're done.
Well, you haven't peeled any good rocks lately, Fonz.
I haven't peeled any good rocks lately, no. I have not. I just think we're so far into the weeds here that it might be good to just see the next cutscene. This one is called the Master Sword in Time. So we're back to talking about the Master Sword, which got some major hype at the beginning of these. If you guys remember, first cutscene was like all about just saying how cool the Master Sword was, before the second cutscene was Ganondorf saying that sword is trash. So now we're going back to the sword to talk about it again.
To be fair, when Ganondorf saw it in the beginning, it kind of was trash. The guy blew it up.
He did blow it up. The first thing he did when he woke up was destroy the sword that he was supposed to be waiting for.
But he didn't know he was supposed to be waiting for it in that scenario.
Restrain him somehow.
Zelda was never there.
And they say that, but he knew Link's name. He wouldn't have known Link's
he for
name.
sure was.
Unless Zelda went back in the past and told Rauru Link's name.
But Link...
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
Sure.
Yeah, so
we'll
how
talk
does
about that when we get
time
out
travel
here.
work then?
Okay, hold on.
I told you Rauru was completely wrong. It doesn't make sense with what he said.
We'll talk about it after this. I think we should restart this cutscene. I have no idea what was just said.
Yeah, me neither.
All right, she's at the Temple of Time. I know that much. This before it was in the sky. All right, cool.
Oh, this is where she's gonna get the Master Sword.
There was a shrine
the
already in
scene
place, though.
That takes place when we're leaving the Great Plateau for the first time. And Link puts the broken Master Sword on this plateau, and she takes it from the future.
So those teardrops in her makeup in the past are doing work all the time. It's like, it's very clever design to give her like teardrops that are just always there, because it helps her emote so much. It's talking
You're
to her.
telling me that Link is safe?
It's Fee.
It's Fee.
You traveled through time to find me and recover your strength.
Eat the secret stone.
Oh, so the sword decided to travel through time.
Zelda,
Like the Master Sword
I
can just
believe
do
there is a
that.
reason you were sent to us.
Well,
It has to mean something.
Link put the sword on the plateau table because the golden glow opened up.
I know why
But I don't know if it decided or if it was just kind of like
It's
fate.
something only I can do.
He knows her whole goal is a repairman
We
now.
will finally stop him.
The greatest repairman in history.
To become an immortal dragon is to lose oneself.
I'll be forever changed. Link! You must find me.
Okay, so aside from missing the whole first part of that,
We just pretty much revoked the whole time redux here.
yeah, because he immediately was like, "That's from a timeline where you hadn't come back here," and I was like, "Then why did Ganondorf know our names?" But that wasn't a part of her story. Like she could have said that, and she just didn't. Do you know what I mean? Like she was like, "We found a man underground," and that's all she said. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like they were rewriting so that she left those details out on purpose so that he could make that argument.
So let me bring this up. Zelda and Link go underground. They find Ganon.
Yes.
The Master Sword breaks.
Mm-hmm.
Ganondorf is like, "Bah, sword, Link, bah." And then Zelda disappears. Link gets transported to the Great Plateau.
Picked up by the hand.
Now, Link, at the end of the Great Plateau, puts the sword on the plateau. Sword goes back in time to Zelda. Zelda's not a... I mean, can we just say it at this point? Zelda's not fixing the sword yet, because she just got the sword when Link's on the Great Plateau. At some point, when Link, in the current era, in the current timeline, Zelda being in the past, having the sword, blah, blah, blah. Fight's already happened. She starts repairing the sword. And so she just magically was there twice. Like, you know what I mean? So she was in the future. Right? Because listen what I'm saying. They were in the future. Zelda was in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Underground with Link.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets transported back, but she was also repairing the sword in the past this entire time from 10,000 years ago to now.
Oh, so
the
you're
case
saying
even-
was human Zelda and Dragon Zelda together in the same world at the same time, existing together?
Yes.
Yes.
Zelda would be in her dragon form flying around at the same time that Zelda's in her human form underground.
Right.
Theoretically,
I didn't want to drop the
Zelda's
bomb
dragon
yet,
form
but yeah.
would have been alive the entire time that Zelda was alive, period.
Yeah.
That's
so
timeline.
Do you know how this game has references to like Twilight Princess having happened and Ocarina of Time having happened and all these
They
other
all
games
happened,
having
basically.
happened, like
Years and
in
years and
this
years in the
Hyrule.
past.
Right, but they probably all happened since Draconification. So I think the theory is that there's been a Dragon Zelda in this guy in every Zelda game you've ever played.
Somewhere out there. But that also means there was multiple Master Swords always, because there was the one being healed for our eventual use in this game, while there was also another one that was being used by the Link of his time to fight whatever bad guy they were fighting. There's just a whole lot of stuff in here, and this is why we don't talk about the timelines of Zelda, because they never really matched up, and they still don't really match up.
And you also can't have Ganondorf before Demise. So Demise would still, Skyward Sword would still have to come first, even before this Hyrule with Rauru.
Yeah, I mean this is a game where they don't really talk about how the Master Sword itself was created, just how it was damaged and repaired through time. So I don't know about that one. Maybe there was another Master Sword, even when she has this broken one that she could have been powering up instead of repairing this one. But
maybe they're gonna actually make the complete distinction, like between the Goddess Sword and like maybe the Goddess Sword didn't turn into the Master Sword, and it like it split off or something, and it created, like, cloned itself and created a Master Sword while also still remaining a Goddess Sword. And they're gonna be like, "Oh, all these games you were playing up until now, that was the Goddess Sword. The Master Sword is being repaired."
But Fee is in that one.
Fee just talked.
It didn't show Fee though.
Bro. She wasn't on screen. That wasn't her. That was some other AI.
There was also no voice that we actually heard.
You hear her voice. The little
Different
twinkle.
operating system.
Different OS. Yeah, her twinkle that was the same twinkle she talked in. That was like her notification sound in Skyward Sword when she wanted to like tell you something.
Oh,
Like
I mean, I
Navi.
totally blocked that out because I got rid of that every time I could.
Yeah, the batteries in your Wii remote are running low. It's just, I don't know. All right. So
Timeline's broken. Drop it.
Timeline's broken. Yeah, no, when I was mentioning the teardrops, like that whole scene where she was talking about how worried she was about them losing and how they can't win no matter what, instead of having her cry in scene, they just gave her the really worried look and let the teardrops do the crying part for her. Like, she doesn't actually have to cry. Like, they don't have to program in tears because she just has them on her face all the time. So it's just clever shortcut design work that also works with the lore of the game, because teardrops are like a whole thing.
Tears of the king.
Yeah,
Kingdom.
tears of the kingdom, tears of the Zonai, tears of the stinking Sheikah. There's just been tears everywhere. Zelda's about to. I got one on my beanie. Look at that.
Tears of the Secret Stone.
The tears of Koga.
Tears of the Kogdom.
There's a lot of tears of Koga.
All right. So she has made it clear in this scene that she does plan to be changed forever. And she's kind of just weighing this decision at this point. But she thinks that's why she's here. She's like, I'm in the past because of this sword that arrived after I got here.
Way after.
Yeah. One thing I did notice was that one of those shrines of light was just chilling in the background in that cutscene.
Oh.
So those were around, presumably through Breath of the Wild somewhere. Did they sprout out of the ground or something? Like what? Like where'd they go? Why were they gone?
When the upheaval happened with Raru's magic, like holding down Ganondorf, just kind of like revealed all the shrines. Like the magic was unsealed, so they all just came out of the ground and the sky and stuff. Kind of like a Sheikah, kind of like the Sheikah thing when they dug out the Guardians, and then Link activates all the shrines. They just kind of bubble out of the ground, like they were there.
I mean, yeah,
chilling.
Some of them are there when you first start the game, but some of them do like rip out of the ground when you get that first tower up. And then there are some that are rip out of the ground when you actually do their puzzles in the overworld. So I guess there's just different rules for that kind of stuff. Okay, so this next one is called Critical Decisions. If you guys are ready to move on, if there's anything more you wanted to say about Zelda and her sword plan. All right, cool. I'll swap my screen.
You're saying that sword traveled through time the same way you did?
Well, not exactly the same.
Yes, but more importantly, in my original time, the Demon King was vulnerable to even the smallest piece of this sword.
Even someone like him has vulnerabilities.
She does not look good.
Nah.
Then, what exactly are you suggesting we do with the sword?
Over time, the Master Sword is able to absorb sacred power. It can heal itself, and even grow stronger.
Curious. If we were able to empower it in that way, it could be the key to defeating the Demon King. But it could take centuries for that sword to grow strong enough. The power the Demon King wields. I do not see how this can be done. It would be impossible for you to provide it with sacred power for so long.
I can think of one way.
You mean?
Yes, I can do it. I have to.
I've told you. That act is forbidden, for a very good reason. It would mean throwing yourself away.
Oh, Minoru!
Looks like she got a little bit extra damage in that fight that the other sages didn't.
Won't be able to change back.
Yeah, I think I'll mention that when we get done with this.
The moment I had the sword, I knew what to do. I knew this was why I came to the Zero. I want to restore the Master Sword and deliver it to Link.
The sadness in her eyes.
I understand. You really have made up your mind? Very well then. As a Zonai, I bear my share of blame for these events. So I too will devote myself to this goal and to this hero of yours. For the swordsman Link, I will do everything I can. Even if my body should perish, I will still be with you in spirit.
So some of these memories, because they're not from the Dragon Tears, don't go in and out with the Dragon Tear animation. It's just is fading in and out on images, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Minoru's in kind of rough shape in this one, while Zelda's telling her what her plan is.
If you saw in the cutscene when they were fighting Ganon, for some reason, Minoru had a calamity, or what would you call that? Like the darkness, sludge? I don't know. Gloom? Gloom.
Yeah.
She had gloom fire around her in the beginning of the cutscene as she was explaining the story, and then she kind of fell over. Whereas the other sages didn't have that same gloom fire around them.
I wonder if, you know how her power is she can remove her soul from her body? It's not the most practical thing for a fight against Ganondorf unless she was apparating into something else or doing something with her spirit. So I'm wondering if she just left her body static and she just left herself open to a really bad hit,
Mm-hmm.
And that's why her body got jacked up, because she wasn't even with it and she didn't get it to move. You know what I mean?
We've also never seen, we know in the effects of gloom, obviously on Link, where he loses permanent hearts until you restore it with a Sundelion. And I'm sure they, in the past, have healing magic to counteract that since they are Zonai. But we've never seen, to this point, what gloom looks like on a person after a battle, with someone who uses gloom. It looks like a permanent, condition where your skin is
she's got gloom rot going on. She seems to be afflicted.
It's extra crispy.
Yeah, I wonder how long that condition, if it's permanent or it's like a burn, it takes a long time to heal. You get that gloom crisp going, 450 degrees in the oven.
My God. Yeah, got me a family bucket, extra crispy.
Filet gloomon.
Got some Gloomer Doodle cookies coming out of the oven.
Oh gosh! Welcome to Kentucky Fried Oka.
Oh, I also wonder. Oh my gosh! If there might be the potential that because she can separate her soul from her body, that maybe her body is a little more frail. Never had as strong of a connection to her soul, because it was always something she could kind of just pluck out and send off to come back later. So maybe her body was just a little weaker because of that.
Maybe.
Never says anything about it, but
yeah, it's really not the point of it. But You know, she does. I mean, these last two. I think 14 and 16 where memories that you got. So the imprisoning war memory and critical decisions, I think both came from meeting Mineru in the underground. Like, I think when she's giving you her spiel, those are the two that she shows you. So when it's the second sage that you find, it pretty much just gives away the whole plot of the game. So that was my Tears of the Kingdom experience, but yeah, a lot of, like, basically all the most important details are just laid out in front of you. Like, here's the imprisoning war everyone's going to talk about, and here's, if you were wondering, here's what happened with Zelda. But we actually get to see more of that in this next one. This one is one of the shorter ones, if I remember right, but also one of the most impactful ones. Are you guys ready for this? This is Tears of the Dragon.
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail for this one. It was like, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. All right, here we go.
Word.
Was that the sword that seals the darkness? The blade that shatters so easily against my power cannot save you from me.
The sword will continue to gain strength if bathed in sacred power. The stronger that power, the more powerful the sword becomes.
After all, you possess more than power over time. You have a sacred power that can dispel evil.
To swallow a secret stone is to become an immortal dragon, one blessed with eternal life.
Blessed or cursed?
According to the legends, blessed, apparently.
Minoru, I'm counting on you.
Stuart! No words. He knows what he must do.
Link, I will restore the Master Sword for you. I will care for it until the time comes.
Wait,
I will
hold on.
pour my sacred power into it. It will be the weapon that defeats the Demon King.
To become an immortal dragon
gummy.
is to lose
Forbidden
oneself.
gummy.
It's a gusher. Turn her head into an orange.
You must.
Stuart?
I like how Stuart stopped to watch and then didn't tell us when he gave us the Puripad.
Yeah, there is.
Some Zelda's lullaby going on with music. Oh gosh.
Protect them all!
sages saw as well.
So I have one problem,
bro,
with this whole thing.
Cutscene ends. We're all processing. Mayo immediately. I got a problem.
I have a problem with this. All right, so Queen Sonia, she died. Right?
She did.
She got slain right in front of Rauru.
Yep.
Then Rauru became a statue. So no more Rauru. Now they were the king and queen. We don't know if they had kids. I'm assuming they probably didn't, and I'm assuming they had no rightful heir to the throne. Mineru was just like, I don't need to worry about ruling because that wasn't my stick, and just goes into the period pad to help Link. And Zelda was also just kind of like, yeah, I'm just gonna be this dragon now. So now you have like pretty much the whole royal line just like all went away, and now Hyrule like is in shambles. Like who's gonna be the new king and queen? Is it gonna be Bob over there in the corner? Like, are the sages gonna help out? Like, what's gonna go on with Hyrule? We know it carried on, but like we don't know how. It's just shambles.
Well, Romachus Bosphromachus.
That's my problem. Is like no one seemed to care about the kingdom. Mineru was like, yeah, it's fine. I'll just go in this period pad right here. It's fine. I don't need to give them guidance or anything. They're good.
I don't know, man. A Hylian came along and said, I'm the new king or something. It's, the game leaves a lot of holes, to be honest. I didn't even think that was going to be your problem. You know what my problem with this is? It's that they decided, like, Zelda was there when they made the decision to throw things up into the sky. And that temple was very much still on the ground, when I'm pretty sure, according to the Zonai lore, like, it was in the sky before Zelda did that. It's a whole thing. I could be wrong, but we did read all those, so someone can definitely check that if they want. That was my problem with what I just watched, but you don't think about that when you're watching Princess Zelda turn into a dragon. It's that's not really. At that point, you just watch the explosion and you go, "Whoa!"
Hold on, I got.
I had a problem too. Actually, now that I really think about it, you know how she ate that stone? She ate that stone like she was drinking water out of her hand. She's all like, if I'm eating a stone like this, I'm like, she drinks it out of both of her. It was weird.
Maybe she like willed it to liquid. It is a secret.
It was a gusher, so
yeah. I mean, they got secret stone powers, so she could have just.
She vampirically.
That seems like a bad shape to swallow, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's gonna get stuck.
I mean, listen, pills
can
give you a hard time.
That pointy end is just gonna scrape all the way down.
At which point does the magic kick in? Like, does she have to hold it in her mouth and then it'll work, or like, does she actually have to?
I mean,
well, the light,
gulp
the light came out of her chest, like not her throat, not her mouth, not her stomach. So it kind of looked like it got like 2/3 of the way down her esophagus, and then was like, "Nah, this is good," and stopped right there.
That's probably
Maybe that's why she like grabbed herself. She's like, "Oh, it's stuck. Uh-oh." It's like, no, this is how it's supposed to go.
So now we got a lore issue too, because we got 3 other dragons in this world, and nobody knows where they came from.
Oh, I was actually telling Cameron about this the other day. So I told him, is it Eldin, Faror, and Lanayru, or Faron and Lanayru, right? Farosh. Sorry.
Yeah, it's Dinral, Farosh, and Lanayru.
Yeah. So they could also potentially be maybe the sages ate their stones too, or
but the stone, like everybody, all the stones are accounted for, right? I mean,
maybe eating the stones isn't the only way that dragons can come into existence. It's just one of the ways.
Well, I'm just saying that the secret stones that are in use in the past are the same ones that are in use in the current time. But there could be more stones than that we just don't know about.
I also read an article that said because of Zelda's transport to the past, she actually basically willed into existence 2 light stones. So there was only the one. And because
Right.
she went back, there became a duplicate.
Right.
Because
then one got stolen by the Demon King.
Right. So.
Well, actually, wait. No. That didn't happen because Sonya's got. Well, yeah, no, Sonya's got taken by the Demon King. And then Rauru
Zelda still had one.
and she took Raru's stone. I thought is how that played out.
No, because Rauru's stone's in his hand.
Right. The stone that was on the hand was the one that fell.
I thought
Wasn't
Link
it?
got
Oh, and that's the one that Zelda grabbed and took with her.
Because I think because Ganondorf still has his stone. It's still in his forehead.
So then, yeah, I mean, basically either way, there was 2 stones that got duplicated in the past.
Yeah,
so
I think Zelda
maybe...
had. Oh, gosh, it doesn't make sense, does it? Because I guess she could have just had light and time powers from Hylia, so that when she got, even if it was Raru's stone that normally was used by him for whatever, it amplifies the power of the user. So because she already had light and time powers, she got super light and super time powers. From the fact that she's Hylia incarnate and has the Triforce and all that. So then goes back in time, is a superhero, still loses. And then, basically has to go from there to be a dragon.
Sounds right. So I guess, maybe Farash and Dinral are just dragons that once were some being and became a dragon at some point. We don't need to know anything else about them.
Yeah, it would be interesting. I've heard people say that the light dragon doesn't really look like the other 3 dragons. Like maybe because she was a Hylian, like the dragon form came out a bit different, and the other 3 dragons might have actually been Zonai dragon, like 3 different Zonai that draconified, like way back in the day. I think it would be cool to say that like the 3 goddesses became the 3 dragons. Varora, Din, and Nehru.
Yeah.
Seems to be what the lore is pointing to with the fact that they're named the way they are. Either way, we don't have the history of that. It's something that I was really hoping to get the history of, and the game was like, nah, speculate, my guy.
Do all the NPCs in Zelda see the dragons? Is it like ever
No.
the NPCs?
They don't.
Yeah. So maybe the other 3 dragons are like spiritual creatures, and they've kind of always been there. Like they're just a natural part of the world, and maybe the 3 goddesses like put there to kind of keep peace over it. And Zelda is the different dragon, the one that people can see, because she actually has a physical corporeal form and was created by eating the stone.
But she stays above the clouds, so nobody really ever has.
Yeah.
Her.
It seems like the dragon doesn't, like, she's not the dragon, kind of, but the dragon probably still has, like, an idea, like, I need to stay away from everything, because she needed to, like, just stay with the sword and make sure nothing happened to it. So I'd imagine the dragon probably tried to stay away from most things just to do its thing.
I also may have a problem with with Zelda and the way she kind of just did that without haste. So like let's flash forward to the Deku Tree, the Great Deku Tree.
With haste or without haste? Wait, what?
I'm sorry.
Are you upset about how fast she did it or about how slow she did it?
I'm sorry, with haste. So like how fast she did it. So like let's say we fast forward to the Deku Tree and he's telling us, I don't remember exactly how the conversation goes, but he does point. I don't know if he's like, oh, I feel the Master Sword's energy. It's here on your map. Or it's like, oh, like, this is where the Great Zelda Dragon is. Or like, I don't remember exactly what he said.
The Great Zelda Dragon.
But like, the Great Deku Tree obviously knows.
He says it's moving around. He's like, I can't tell you where it is, but I can tell you that it's moving.
Right. So like,
yeah,
he knows. But like, it doesn't show Zelda talking to him. Like, did she go to the Deku Tree in the past? You know, he's old as dirt, so like, was he there and was just kind of like, I will tell Link, Zelda. The
Deku Tree has been like, he famously just knows stuff, and has forever. You know, like I don't know.
Does he know that Zelda's the dragon though? Does he ever say that?
I don't think he knows that. I think he just knows how the Master Sword works.
I think he's feeling the Master Sword's energy because he was watching over it for so long in Breath of the Wild, like the 100 years or whatever Link was asleep. And so I think he can just sense it. So when Link's like, "Yo, I'm looking for that," he's like, "Oh, it's in the sky somewhere, moving around. It's kind of weird, but yeah, go find it. That's where it is." He doesn't like say, "Yo, the great Zelda dragon's got it chilling up there. Go grab it."
You would
One
think
of those
like
egg nappers from Spyro has it and he's just running laps somewhere on one of these islands. What?
I don't know. He's onto something.
Such
I don't know.
Same universe.
Like if Zelda had this entire plan, I just feel like she failed to let anyone know aside from Steward to like pass down that maybe Link like. What if the Great Deku Tree couldn't feel the Master Sword's power? That whole plan, like Link would never know to go onto that thing in there. You know, like how's he just gonna?
It's too many what ifs, because if they would have passed down all that knowledge, then Mineru probably wouldn't have gotten forgotten about, and she would have actually been ready to greet Link and help him instead of him trying to find his own path. It would have just changed the entire direction of the game. So I feel like they kind of had to go that way to explain how they decided to make the game work. Because it would have been less fun if you start the game and there's Mineru like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell you where to go." The whole thing is supposed to be an open world. Like, you're supposed to go explore for yourself. If they brought Mineru in the beginning and just started pointing fingers everywhere you had to go and putting marks on the map, like a Pokemon open world game or something, then it would be a way worse experience.
Yeah, that's true. Sounded a little heated there from Pokemon.
Got some feelings about Pokemon. I see.
No.
And being told where to go.
No, wait, what?
I mean, Rauru does give you some direction in the beginning, but he never tells you any of the other stuff. Like, yeah, after I was stealing Ganon, they apparently made plans and did some stuff without me. But here's what I can tell you: so you gotta go fight this Demon King by yourself.
It's like they're drip feeding information to Link just because the game developers want to be drip feeding information to you to make you, give you all the exploration capabilities that you want in an open world game. But story-wise, does it really make sense? You think the entire country or the entire Hyrule would be like, this guy almost destroyed all of us and he's still down there. We need to keep this alive and everyone needs to know about it forever until it comes back. No, they're just like, hey, it's over. Let's just forget about it.
Yeah, and Calamity Ganon didn't ring any bells with anyone.
Right? I do feel like they weirdly made the steward constructs like both like sapient and also just robotic at the same time in a way that doesn't work well. Because like you meet the steward construct that has the Puripad, which is the exact same one that turned to watch Zelda become a dragon, but apparently didn't think that was relevant information for you to know. So it was like also you wake up, it's like Zelda left this for you. Okay, you can have it.
That steward construct also saw Mineru's spirit going into the thing, so the steward construct also could have said, by the way, one of the heroes from the past that helped in the Sealing War that you know nothing about at this point in the game is locked inside of this, and you should go find her right away.
Right, and
that all should have happened.
You get to the end, like you get to the end of the Great Sky Island portion at the beginning of the game, and you hand the Master Sword through the light, and then the Light Dragon comes up and splits the cloud layer so that it can open up, and the steward construct that's like nearby is like, yeah, I've seen that before. That's just
it's just a Tuesday.
Sometimes it's what it is.
Maybe it was just like Link is like on a need to know like classified basis, and so like when he gets there, it's like classified information until Link like helps out Hyrule. They're like, oh, we need to see if he can really help out.
But then
maybe the steward's contract just forgot, man.
It's been 10,000 years.
The steward contract forgets nothing. You go back to the Great Sky Island later, and he's like, oh, here's this ritual that the Zonai used to do, where you got to light all these fires and go around the the Sky Island and do this whole
Hey,
thing.
look, just because there's a construct in the factory that remembers clearly having all of the stuff in that factory going on 10,000 years ago, clearly doesn't mean that the one up in the Temple of Time would remember what happened 10,000 years ago or anything. That's just totally not.
How did he
contradictory.
remember that I was the one who was supposed to have the puriped? You know what I'm saying? Like, my guy. He just
Selective
has
memory.
all this information. It's just like beep boop bop. I was given one command, so here it is. You get this. Goodbye.
Yeah, it could literally be that too. Like they just forgot to tell the construct to tell Link anything. They're like, give him the pad, and they
So I
walk
said
away.
Zelda went in and
Oh.
haste, and she just kind of
Oh,
did
yeah.
it all like super fast. Like, you know that construct was probably sitting there for 10,000 years. Like, bro, I need a break.
I mean,
I
to
want a
be
vacation.
fair,
Can't
once
wait
she
till this
was
is
a
over.
dragon, she did cry all over the place. that
She
did,
left
that
her memories everywhere.
Did tell the story.
Now,
Stuart
did she
Construct's like,
plan
yeah, she got
that,
this.
or was that just kind of?
So that one that we just watched, Tears of the Dragon, is actually the last memory you get. You can't get it until you get all the other geoglyphs. And it shows up right in the middle of the Wrist Peninsula. And after you get that memory, the dragon actually flies right by you, and you can see the sword on it if you haven't already gotten the sword.
Oh.
And it like drops. I mean, as it leaves, something falls, and it's just like straight up silent princess flowers everywhere, like just in a big spot on the ground.
Oh,
it's a
no.
very dramatic like exit scene from the memory.
Oh, no.
Have you not found this one yet, Mayo?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
I definitely haven't.
So it's
There's
like a
one
whole
memory I'm
thing.
missing.
There's more of a moment to it than what we just watched, but it's a very nice little homage to what's going on in the game. So cool stuff there. There's one last one which I think you guys have seen, because it's the cutscene that you get when you get the Master Sword, and it is scene 18. It's called Zelda's Wish. And we have been recording for a while now, so we gotta get through this. Okay. Away we go.
Link.
Yeah.
Link.
Yeah.
The Master Sword. Your sword. She is the key
And
to
look at that
destroying
aura.
the Demon King.
She. The sword is also a she, which I guess we knew because of feet.
Defeated her before, but a long slumber will
That's
heal
like
these
Super
grief's
Saiyan aura,
wounds.
dude.
Still got chunks
And when
taken out
you
of it.
two next face the Demon King, you will have my strength to help you through her. Link, you are our final hope. I pray this sword reaches you in the future.
Zelda
that's the
is
end
the
of the cutscene.
master of waiting and patience. The first game, she waited 100 years for Link. In the second game, she waited like upwards of 10,000 years. Like, she is the master of patience.
That is kind of her whole deal in these games, is to be the one who is like trapped and or, you know, like in a battle for 100 years, or I lost myself and now I'm a dragon for, you know, she's just kind of always playing that long game.
So I might have a potential problem with this.
So I got a problem with this cutscene.
So, and here, because I haven't played the game a lot after getting the Master Sword myself, but in the
Yeah.
first game, the Master Sword was 30 damage, 60 when powered up. And now it's supposedly been being strengthened for 10,000 years. So my question is, in this game, is it still 30 damage, 60 when powered up?
I
So
don't have the answer to that question.
you can fuse things in the Master Sword becomes the aura of that thing. So it gets its energy from objects, but it's still 3060.
Yeah, I got a problem with it.
And obviously, if you fuse like a Lizalfo's horn, it gains the attack from the Lizalfo's horn as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm talking base. Because theoretically, Master Sword, when you're in Breath of the Wild, should be weak sauce compared to the 10,000 year buffed Super Saiyan Master Sword.
Well, here's what I'm gonna say: the 3061 that we started the game with got shattered by Gloom, like immediately, like was not ready for that whole Ganondorf situation. This one, after 10,000 years of being healed, can take quite a few hits from Ganondorf without even taking damage. Except, maybe it can lose. I don't even know if it can lose energy in that fight, actually. I mean, I'm sure it can, but...
No, even in Breath of the Wild, when it's in powered up form, it doesn't lose durability. So if you're fighting something that has... I mean, it wasn't called Gloom in that one. What was it called?
That one was Malice.
Yeah. If you're anywhere near Malice and the sword is glowing, it won't break. Like, it doesn't lose durability.
There you go. So basically, it became Ganondorfable. That's how durable it became. Did it become stronger? No, but it healed and became more resilient.
10,000 years to give it some durability.
And it confused. But I don't even know if that's even a Master Sword thing. I mean, you could fuse the broken one, too, at the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
But if you kept it long enough. Most people just break it.
I broke it.
I broke it. Should have fed it to one of them rock octorats.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this one, honestly, just watching the memory doesn't do it justice. But we can kind of talk about that as well, because in the actual game, how you get this cutscene is you find the light dragon, fly up onto it, because you basically have to use Zonai devices to get to this thing, because it's a moving target that is always a good 50 meters higher than whenever you are when you first find her. You go up onto the dragon, because you can ride all the dragons in this game. Go to the forehead, and then there's like, the sword is literally like being held on by the hair of the dragon. Right on its forehead, and so you have to grip it and pull, and the dragon starts like flying around like it hit turbulence or something. Like it's just starts.
Sounds like it's in pain, too.
It does seem like it like yells like it's in pain, kind of like it roars and stuff as it bucks around. And then as you're pulling it, it transitions to this cutscene, and then it comes back out, and like the hair releases and lets Link have the sword. And it's this whole big thing, another big emotional cutscene with Zelda. I mean, in the memory anyway. Every time in the future, I mean, it's the dragon. And yeah, I mean, the light dragon is kind of cool because it, unlike I shouldn't even say unlike, like the other dragons, you can still kind of pluck stuff off of it. Like you can get light dragon shards from the ridges on its back. You can get the claws, the teeth. You do kind of feel weird shooting Dragon Zelda in the mouth to get a fang, but it's a thing you can do.
Yeah, that's another thing that I guess I'll find the answer out to when we get to the end of the game. But it made me so sad because you're meant to, like this character over Breath of the Wild, and then her character continues into Tears of the Kingdom, and all of a sudden you realize she become a dragon, and she could be forever stuck that way. And you're like, oh no! Like I know they're not making another game, a third sequel, but still, it's kind of like, oh wow, is this really her end? Like, does she have to suffer as a dragon now? Like that's kind of like Link and her can't get closure.
I think part of the idea of her losing herself is that she wouldn't be suffering, because she wouldn't even remember, like she wouldn't have any kind of perception of who she was or what she was waiting for anymore. I think that's kind of the curse of being a dragon. Like the blessing is supposed to be, you live forever and nothing really bothers you anymore. And then on the other end of that is like, yeah, but I mean, whatever you found meaningful before you decided to become a dragon is suddenly, like gone. It's just gone. Like you're basically giving up your relation to it.
The caveat is nothing will bother you anymore because there is no you anymore.
Right. So it's a real weird decision to make. I mean, I think what's kind of come to light is that Mineru's information isn't entirely reliable on this. Like it's a forbidden act, and what she's basically has communicated is you lose yourself. There's no way you can, like it seems like it wouldn't be a good plan, because how would she even know to do anything with the Master Sword if she completely lost herself? You know what I mean? Like the fact that she's holding it before she became a dragon doesn't mean that it would get caught in the hair of the dragon and just be carried around for that long.
Maybe
but it does.
Maybe the Nintendo team kind of hinted at Zelda's stasis ability, where she can kind of pause a moment. So like, when she was fighting Ganon in the first game, and she had kept herself alive in a stasis for 100 years somehow. It's just her power to preserve herself. So maybe she's preserved herself inside the dragon's energy with the Master Sword, like her
So
thoughts,
you're thinking like
kind of like she protected
when-
herself, like a what's that one? Is it Nehru's love, like the crystal from OOT? Like
Yeah,
maybe she
I mean,
has
that
like
is- yeah.
some kind of ability like that to like stasis herself.
I would personally, I would think it's just like some strong emotions left over. Like she had such strong emotions tied to Link and the Master Sword that those kind of lingered into the dragon. While she wasn't herself and it didn't have memories and it wasn't Zelda, it still had this like foreboding feeling and knowledge that it had to protect the sword. Maybe it didn't even remember Link, but those emotions were so strong. It was like all Zelda really cared about. She put her whole everything and sacrificed her life for it. So that powerful of a sacrifice and emotions behind it probably lingered with the dragon, even though it wasn't really her anymore.
Yeah, I think I guess a couple statements. I can't say too much. But the other thing that kind of hints that there might still be something there is the fact that the dragon does cry the memories. Like the tears do come out of the dragon's eyes, not out of Zelda's eyes. Like it's like post-transformation that these tears come out and are able to not only make the geoglyphs, but able to translate these memories to Link. Which to me would hint that the dragon still has those memories itself.
What if it was shedding them, though? What if that's just what happens when you ingest a stone and turn into a dragon? You like shed your human memories and in the form of tears or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. The other thing, sorry,
It could
to
be with
respond
that
to what
stasis thing, though.
Maya was saying about her stasis ability. Are you saying like when Zelda's like, I know why I'm here, it's because she's the only one who could have done this? Like she's the only one who could have
I
been
think
a dragon and not completely lost herself?
I think
Well, I mean,
because
she's
of her
the one
Hylian
with sacred
powers.
energy, anyways.
Yeah, I
She is
think
the one with
because of her
sacred energy,
powers,
that's
like she can kind of carry this mission out and not completely lose herself. Like to Cameron's point, like I think
She
we
left like a
obviously have
tiny
the-
part of herself, kind of.
Yeah, because we see the memory, so maybe there's like
Like her
like is she
nucleus, so to
giving
speak.
that like memory to Link as he's like doing that? So like I feel like there's a teensy bit of her that she's using a power to like sustain, which honestly she's gonna need a nap after that if that's what she's been doing, because that's like 10,000 years of just
She's an
concentration.
immortal dragon. She doesn't even like. She has so much power that she's literally got like what's it called? Like power dandruff on her back. It's
Power
just
dandruff.
yeah. You pick up these light shards. You're like grooming the dragon because they have so much power. It's just like it's just shedding off of them all the time.
Imagine what kind of dragon Rauru could have been if he did that.
Same kind of dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Zelda's actually probably stronger than Rauru, so never mind.
Yeah, it would have been like luminous stones on
Oh.
Rauru. He would have been luminous stone dragon. Everything would have looked. It would have looked nice at night, but that's about all the power that was there. No, that's mean. But he, you have all of his power anyway from his arm, so maybe that's it. Maybe he'd be like the Katamari dragon, and if you accidentally walked on him, you just get stuck. You are now fused. You can control the dragon, I guess. Maybe, I don't know, but once your durability runs out, that's it.
We gotta launch a bunch of Koroks into him and find out.
Oh no.
All right, so I guess the last thing I say is I'm really excited for those of you who have not already beat the game and played the ending to do so, because yeah, I mean, with all of these cutscenes kind of in your pocket, I think that the end of this game is one of the best that the Zelda series has ever seen. But we're not going to talk about it in detail here. We're going to wait until next time. So, y'all, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you watched, you may have just done audio only. That's up to you. Spotify is where you can see the videos. We'll probably also put this one on YouTube, etc. But definitely catch us next time on A for No, B for Yes.
Thanks for watching.
Did you get all that? Do. Yeah, you gotta say something, or else it'd be like, "Hey, there's no audio. I'm done."
Craig.
I do have music just playing in the background, though. Oh, very nice. Is that heat activated? Is it like just regular Luffy, and then like the steam comes up when the mug is hot? Yeah.
You know it, boy. My friend Casey got me with that.
Dude's been hitting all them gears.
Mm-hmm. Gear 5 is lit, bro.
It's like a hot mug of tea.
If this teacup went Gear 5, it would somehow not have a bottom. I don't mean that literally, as in there'd be no bottom to the
I know
cup.
what you
I mean,
mean.
you'd just keep pouring stuff in, and it would just keep going.
Yeah. Bottomless tea.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind that, The bottomless flask of always perfectly warm tea.
Yeah.
Too bad that's not, physically possible.
Like Grandma used to make.
Just like Grandma. Hey, Ma! I need a warm-up on my tea! Hey, Ma, where'd you put my bottomless flask of tea? Oh, it's underneath your bottomless other things. What does that mean, Ma? I don't got any other bottomless... Have you checked your bag of holding? It's so vast in there, Ma! I got lost in there last month, Ma! You had to send in the bloodhounds, you remember?
Probably where it is. Right next to the ketchup.
Oh no.
It's hopeless.
The always warm flask of tea in the fridge next to the ketchup.
Well, you know. Got to keep the butter warm somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Let me go hit the bathroom real quick though on the in between.
Okay, we'll just wait then for you to get back.
My response should have been, Go on.
Go on.
Oh, you want me to go on? Well, it's number one, actually.
Bro. Yo, why you sending me pictures of Uka in Discord, my guy? I don't need this.
Those are the ones that were nightmare fuel.
Why do they have like compound eyes? This is gross.
Yeah. That's what they really look like. Not the statues aside.
And they, instead of actually making their feathers look like feathers, they just made them look like flesh, and it's gross.
Yeah.
I don't like
But
what you
also,
sent me.
Why do they have those weird, like, so the Uka, when you look at it on Twilight Princess, like the official, they have these weird, like, green and purple flame type things, like, hanging down their chest neckline.
It's feathers.
It's like, what?
They're just feathers.
Are they?
It's supposed to be feathers, yeah, but they made them weird.
Because the feathers, like the chicken body down below looks like feathers, but up top, like, what is that?
It's supposed to be feathers. I'm telling you.
Stop talking about Uka.
It's just supposed to be feathers.
It's just supposed to be nightmare fuel.
They did a bad one. They did a bad design, okay?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely fits the TP vibe for sure.
They did Wind Waker, and everything was designed and pristine and looked amazing, and it was the best game. And then everyone was like, but we want it to be ugly. And then they did, and they made it ugly. And then they made the Uka, and the Uka was the ugliest of the ugly. And they put them above everything else and said, this is the pinnacle of the ugly. They've created the rest of the ugly. And that's what Twilight Princess is.
I like how you just replaced dark with ugly. Because everybody wanted a dark Zelda game, and you're right. Everything came out looking ugly.
I think the keyword was realistic, and everything came out as ugly.
I mean, yeah, how do you make a realistic looking naked man chicken thing and not have it look like Nightmare Fuel?
It has feather. They're just dumb looking feathers that made it confusing. And everyone was like, this thing's
feathers
naked.
that look
and it's
like
not.
their skin.
Yeah, but they're not.
I mean, yeah, but it looks just like it. So I mean,
it's just because it's not. Listen, if it was in Wind Waker, you would have been like, "That's a feather," and this thing looks dope. But
yeah, maybe if it was
not what we got. Instead, we got whatever that was. I mean, you look at Link's face the first time he picks ones up, and he's like, he's just very concerned about what he knows. Found.
You know what that reminds me of? The Uka, like not the design, but just the scary Nightmare Fuel-ishness of it. Back when they tried to do horror Nightmare Fuel back in OOT, and they made the Dead Hand, which is just that well monster that looked.
The Dead Hand wouldn't grab an Uka if it could.
Even the Dead Hand would just stay underground if an Uka was in the room.
I'm not messing with that.
No. Oh no.
What are those? Those are feathers, Dead Hand. I disagree. Dead Hand would disagree.
And all my 64-bit.
It's got too many pixels too.
Something so ugly.
Too many polygons. It would crash me. All right. Let's go to the next one. The Imprisoning War. What we actually came here to see. Not these weird high definition renderings of nasty Uka that you sent me. All right. Let me swap on over my camera.